Trouble Tuesday news. Yes, I know it's Wednesday here in Australia, but to Have we got audio coming through Twitch?
Why am I not hearing it now?
Are you seeing this? It will not let me turn the volume up. See this?
Yeah, just hold on.
Hear this, right, folks?
Life is under attack.
There it is.
The survival of our
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm the last one they should ever let speak. I should say politics, the dead pros, and the
immortal technique. Our way of life is under attack. The survival of our friends is in danger.
There's a new housing plan for the ghetto eventually. Projects for a new American century. False flag terrorism controlling you mentally. The gospel in the hands of people with no empathy. A mixture of dangerous social chemistry between law enforcement and a military entity. Cameras on the corner of every corner you facing. Testing out a future Gestapo on immigration. Power, consolidation, information restricted. Just like the iron law of oligarchy predicted, incarcerating the poor among the drug addicted, but not the families of the ruling class that's afflicted, cause it's a fucking caste system like corrupted Hinduism. I think you should listen. I've been through the system in prison. I've been through religion, carried the cross as a Christian like it was anti-disestablishmentarianism, until the seeds of despotism arrested my vision. Lyricism with cynicism and syllogisms, until they fed through Albizu Campos and kill me in prison. Chemtrail conditions, stem cells of Leo Strauss's philosophy, the birth of neocon policy. But I laugh at America's fear of a new world order controlling the hemisphere, cause my people been living that for the past 500 years.
Intelligence, understanding, the facts they deserve to know. No governmental plan should impose its restraints against your will. Who do we trust? Who do we trust? The facts. Who do we trust? Who do we trust? Intelligence. Who can I trust? Who can I trust? Who can I trust?
Expose crimes of the power structure, enter the fire, cause the truth is now treason to the U.S. empire. U.S. meddling in almost every foreign election. See where the next drone headed, civilian dead in the Yemen wedding, barely reported because the weapons were exported from the politicians in the Pentagon. The Saudis bought it, and the babies and the children were slaughtered. The authorization, altercation, deplorable demoralization, obedience to authority, colonized the minority. Social norm is to conform to the immoral majority. White superiority, secession of separatism, the terrorism of American exceptionalism. Go to Plan B, be free. Fuck the TV, fuck the PD, fuck a Tuskegee VD. Grave plot, soldier pop, corpse rot, spin over. Monsanto weed killer, non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Whistleblower, men are afraid to label the dreaded traitor. Executive legislator trying to suppress your behavior. Intelligence interrogator collecting metadata, condemning the messenger and censoring the educators. CIA feed the propaganda to the television. In the next edition, the pundits preach it in repetition. Loyal to the monarchy, hereditary or elected. Fuck a royal family and fuck a president selected.
Secret societies, the secret oaths. Censorship, impose restraints against your will. The facts. Who do we trust? Who do we trust? Intelligence. Who can I trust? Who can I trust? Informing and alerting the American people.
What's the cadet motto at West Point? You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It's like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
Hey, from the edge of the apocalypse, this is EPGN. We're coming back at you with another test broadcast, and with us today, we've got the Southern Sentinel crew. We've got both Jamie and Eric with us, and my good friend Keith, Gematria Database in the house. And fellas, how you doing? Sound off.
G'day, everyone. How you going, man? And we won't put a shrimp on the barbie. We put prawns on the barbie, and we don't drink bottles either. So, how you going?
Very good, very good. Eric, I'd like to welcome you. How you doing, man?
What's up? What's up? I hope you enjoyed that intro video, and there are still people out there spreading truth through music. Keep it up, folks.
Absolutely true. And our numbers analyst, to confuse you ever so much, is our friend Keith here. Gematria Database, how is ya?
I am excellent, of course. Happy to be here.
Good. How's the famousness in Las Vegas treating you?
Pretty crazy.
Right on. And
Just since we're doing a check, Keith, is there a way to boost your audio? Or
my
maybe,
audio needs to go up.
Robert, you're in.
Check, testing.
Oh, his audio, yeah.
Could be my crappy voice.
There we go. Much better.
Testing 1, 2. Okay.
Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more, yeah. We're
Yeah.
hearing more of the echo in the room that you're in rather than your voice. It's kind of...
Oh, that's better. Yep.
You know, the more I notice as you age, you're actually
Mostly.
starting to look more like Marty McFly's dad. You're totally starting to look more and more like him every day.
Marty
Yeah.
George McFly is the
George
character.
McFly. I couldn't remember his name, but yeah.
Portray
I only wish I could grow my hair long enough to
Cafe
look like
Lake.
that. Like
Say that
Marty.
again, Keith.
George McFly is the character I portray, like a kind of spokesperson at the Back to the 80s Cafe in Vegas.
You know, the 80s were awesome. Yeah. We didn't have so much BS that we have now.
There was no coronavirus for sure.
No, but we had AIDS. There was no shortage of
Same thing.
yeah, right. It is literally. But we digress right now. Just for the record, we are not medical professionals. Don't listen to us. We are just idiots. But boy, do we have a show today. We're just kind of making sure we have a full systems kind of analysis, make sure A, we know what we're doing, B, the software plays nice with us. So you guys out there listening, if something sounds amiss or there's something funny, just let us know.
I appreciate that disclaimer because I do practice naturopathic medicine, and we are only allowed in the United States of America, 20 states. 20 states are allowed to practice naturopathic medicine. And
which, by the way,
that's
that
more
means
than
there's hope. That's kind of like a Dumb and Dumber moment because if 20 states are doing it, there's hope that more will follow.
But I am not allowed to say that this is medical advice.
Yeah, you're not allowed to use words like the C word. Not that C word, Jamie. The other one.
Welcome to the dark winter that everybody's been talking about in the government of the United States. Remember, Joe Biden did say this in the presidential campaign. There will be a dark winter. Yes.
You know what else he said? He said something else, Jamie.
Yeah. I keep cutting in and out.
Nuclear.
I'm right in front of my microphone. It can't be cut.
That's what he said.
You're coming through. You're coming through, Jamie. He's just speaking over you. That's all.
Right. I'm saying what Biden has said. He said that one time I went fishing with my buddy and we caught some fish and I had my hand on a youngster's backside. And what were we talking about? Go ahead.
Jamie, go ahead. Finish your thought, man, please.
Yeah. Well, see, like when the sun goes down every single time, it gets dark. So yeah, every year there's a dark winter. Realistically, come on. But why should
Trump said dark winter too, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Biden needs a teleprompter on his mask that he's wearing. He wears multiple masks. He needs a teleprompter to see what he's saying, and then he gets his minder that's over his right hand shoulder, tapping him on the shoulder.
Make sure he's
man,
awake.
Hilarious grandpa who has dementia.
Yeah.
But you mentioned dark winter. Use that word. So did Trump. President Trump used that word too.
That's
Trump did too.
So what makes you think that either are any different? You know.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. Myself and I think Jamie too. We refuse to engage with people who think there's a difference between either person or either party.
Yeah,
it's a waste of time.
I will say this though, for the record, I will say I think Trump is one of the best things that happened to America, just because it got everybody, well, the majority anyway, at least agreeing on something. Like,
yeah, you know what I tend to think about the the fact that it was an accident, like that he was like bad accident. Like we got to clean that up.
Like, did he go? Did he go for the presidency on a dare? Like, was it like some executive meeting somewhere? It's like, hey, you should run for president. Yeah, I should.
I've always wondered if
it was that Obama conference that they first mentioned.
Oh, right, because there was a seed planted.
Oh yeah, and they actually
That's
connected
right.
that to Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah, I remember
second
that.
movie. And they made like a Trump palace.
That's right.
I have a hard time believing.
It's funny because I live in Vegas, I'm in Vegas currently, and they showed me that the Biff Tower or whatever that the Biff casino place.
Oh yeah,
in that movie,
the
it's actually
temple.
called the Palace here.
The Fifth Temple, correct? Temple.
Indeed.
Tower was a temple.
I gotta know this, Keith, because you're in Las Vegas. I mean, that's the kind of place where, like,
you going with this?
Spin City, baby.
I was just gonna say though, like all kinds of degenerate behavior happens down there. Like, what's the lockdown like in Las Vegas? Let me ask you this.
There's
It wasn't the Fifth Tower though; it was the Fifth Temple, and they completed it. Nobody cared.
Right.
Yeah, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, I noticed he's not saying anything. So okay, I guess it does. Okay, that's fine.
That's what people say. No. That's what people say though. Yeah, but I mean, I only like go around little areas. There's like main like attractional places where they call one called the Strip and then another called Fremont Street.
Yeah, like you've only been there recently, so like you probably don't have a whole lot of reference, like frame of reference. But I mean, is it like bustling with tourists or no, or is it kind of?
Well, there's that game I play, right? The I call it the Illuminati Easter egg game.
Oh, it sounds like fun for the whole family.
Yeah. Right across the road from the Vegas shooting, man. Right across the road from the Vegas shooting.
Basically, like, I just pick out things and then I give myself points. I'm like, okay, that's, a pyramid. Okay, there's 5 points. It's like, a Sphinx. Okay, there's like 20 points.
There's no symbolism there at all.
Not at all. Oh, a Masonic ring. Oh, you're wearing a Masonic ring. Oh, give me like 50 points for that.
Yeah.
And he's handing out flyers like maps to the stars and shit, right?
So we're getting to know. This is the first time I've met Keith. Keith, who are some of the influences that you've had in your life as far as to learn from? Are there any people?
I'm a researcher. I'm not really part of the true sphere.
No. Who would you get your research from? Which are the people that you would actually?
Man. I started out like because I was like starting in the 2012 era time, and it was all about the Mayan calendar, and I was like big into the Mayan calendar at the time because I was doing this whole thing about thinking that the Mayan calendar was talking about 3 inner dimensions.
What turned you on? Like what led you in that
calendar?
Yeah, like was there a certain person that you listened to?
Spiritual person. I'm an artist.
Okay.
I got into the art form of the steles and their mandalas, and I tried to recreate them.
Which of those people were you like? I love dropping names, like people that we can drop names that influenced us in the direction we decided going.
I don't know, like the Mayan stuff, because it was just more like at the time I was trying to understand what was going on in my own life, and I was relating it to the idea that I had on my own self that I'm traveling through dimensions. And the way to understand that is to witness the people around me and mark them down. And then after I marked them down, I associated them with a time frame, and then that time frame. So every day was essentially a time frame. And then I took that and I superimposed that with the Mayan calendar. And I'm a tarot reader, so I understand how if you put like 3 cards together, that gives you like a little story. So like basically, if you look at how the Mayan calendar is produced, it's like kind of an interlocking clock. That is not the clock itself, like the thing that moves, like the hands, but the inner workings of the clock, like the cogs, right? And each cog has its own like thing on it, and then there's like a thing that it connects to, and that create and there's like a thing on the top and the thing on the bottom, right? And so all of this creates like a little story, and then the next day is a different story, and the next day is a different story, and that only repeats every 52 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were all
So
about
like
the
every day.
cycles. Yeah.
So like to me, that told me that that it's all cyclical, and the cycles are inner circles. So there's like a circle inside of a circle inside of a circle, and they all intertwine with each other. That they're associated with, I guess, the planets or whatever, and the sun and the moon. But in reality, it's like their, in my opinion, it's their representation of how we switch into different dimensions. And each month in the did we lose him?
No,
No,
just his camera.
He's still there. He just turned the video off. Yep.
Okay, each month in the Mayan calendar is 20 days. So every 20 days it like changes, right? So I superimpose that with our whole so-called like way of, like 28 days here, then 29 days there, then 31 days here,
Rob,
in order to associate with.
Sorry,
And-
Chief.
and-
Rob,
Yeah.
there's no volume
ahead.
coming through. There's no volume coming through the Twitch, man. I've just been messaged on my Twitch channel. There's no volume coming through.
Oh, there should be. Okay, hang on.
Technical difficulties.
Uh-oh. Because it's coming through. It's coming through on the Icecast stream. So that just let me just double check, guys. This is why we're doing this.
Keith, you have nobody who has influenced you as far as learning more about this. I have a couple people who in your wheelhouse who have influenced me in learning the Mayan calendar and in learning gematria in particular.
Probably, well, yeah, I learned from, like
And there's a lot of chills out there who don't know.
I originally started with thinking that I was going to try to break the code of, Nostradamus. So I was like into the Nostradamus like quatrains, and I was like trying to figure out like this formula that I didn't believe that they were actually written in the right order. And so I was like, I think
They're
there's
not.
another order.
Well, they're not. Correct. They're not meant to.
And so I figured there must be a way to figure out how this order works.
What's the
So I
word for
figured
that code? There's a code.
how this
There's
order works.
What's the
So I
word for
figured-
that code? It's called the something
There's a
code.
code. How this order
when you're-
works.
What's the word for
There's
that
a
code? Called the something code.
How this order works.
What's the word for that code? Called the something code.
How this order works.
What's the word for that code? Called the something code. It's something code.
Sorry, guys. I just wanted to pause you there for a second. Jamie, I'm listening to it. It's coming through on your Twitch. I'm listening. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone just to be sure. But I do appreciate your patience, audience. We're just making sure we nail down the procedures here and kind of get things kind of sorted. But anyway, you guys continue. My bad.
Well, we were talking about gematria and decoding, and the Zodiac Killer, a prolific serial killer.
Oh yeah, that was one of them.
Things
That
down
was
in-
definite. That was my 10th grade. I did like a report. Like when you have to write a book report or whatever. I did a report on the Zodiac Killer, and was really fascinated with the coding process. And because of that, I ended up doing a lot of research on other codes at the same time.
Right. And there was a certain name. It was called a something code, where you decode something that's a shape or an object into a letter or number. I cannot remember the name of it.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
It's
cryptography. No?
We're good.
It's not cryptography.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're coming out. You're coming down the pipe crisp and
What
clean.
is cryptography? And the Illuminati use it constantly in images, in commercials, in cartoons. They use it. Yep.
Yeah. You know what I noticed when I was in
Are they
Mexico?
talking to each other, or are they trying to talk to us? Are they trying to like secretly like influence us through the process of putting it in plain sight and then going, "Do you see it?"
Right.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
who
you don't see it. Oh, okay, then now we got control over you.
Yeah,
Do you see it?
It's
Oh, well, now
definitely
we're gonna
definitely
follow it.
signals and reminders to other people that they know. But I also
And that's
think
why I play the game. It makes it fun.
yeah, it also
I
works
do
like
it with
black
the-
magic.
Oh,
Like
go ahead.
it's you gotta it's like spell casting, like chanting and reciting certain things. The act of doing such is kind of like is incantation.
That's
You know
called
what I mean?
ritual.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
ritualistic.
where those who have eyes to see and ears to hear comes from.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Straight up.
And
when they're in certain places
and-
and for certain reasons in different
Yeah.
you know, like structure of measurement, then it's always about ritual.
Always,
Mm.
always about ritual.
Yeah.
Always. And,
And-
that
and-
is important to know about the Illuminati and the New World Order. They are all about ritual.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bingo.
It's
Agreed.
it's like structures and buildings and stuff. They always have some kind of a signature that's applied to them. It could be a cornerstone or something like that. But it'll be like, you know, like Gus was here, that kind of a deal. You know, they always kind of put their mark on it somehow. And like most people, they would just walk by it 100 times and not even know it's there. But to the trained eye, it's like, oh, okay. Gus was here. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
Yeah, right.
let's go back to let's use an example here. There's 110 stories in the Twin Towers. Okay,
Yeah.
and if you do Osama bin Laden in gematria and you know do the actual you know math of it, it equals 110, and he was the one that was said to have created that thing. And then
Now, how
in
do we
the
get
media
there?
world,
How do we get to
So-
110? What were the numbers that added together to get to 110?
you have to type it in the calculator, or you can do the math here in your brain. It's like you
But it
use the
translates using
you use the I think the
what was
A,
the
B,
word?
C, D all the
Cryptology?
way to 20 to Z, right? But you
Yep.
add each numbers like in succession. So A is equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, so forth.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. See,
that's
here's
what-
a weird
that's
thing. Here's a strange thing, and like I want other people listening to know this is that whether you believe in this stuff or not is irrelevant because these other societies do.
Well, they
Like-
love numbers.
Yeah, they love this stuff, and they almost like to throw it in people's faces and do shit right under their noses. And it's
Right.
no
It's
it's no
like their
secret
little
that
game with us.
yeah,
in
there's
my
no
opinion.
secret. It shows up like as predictive programming and several like Hollywood productions, broadcasts. It's all over the place. It's almost
Right.
unavoidable. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like you suddenly see it everywhere, and
Yep.
it's really
Well,
bizarre
that's one of-
stuff.
That also comes with the bands that I like. They all use different symbology in
Yep.
their logos and in their message and that. But for me, that's what attracted me. It was a message in the song. But when you actually deep down a lot further and actually understand the message, what they were presenting at the time, it's just mind blowing. I
Yeah.
wish people will understand the Travis Stock program that happened in the late 50s, early 60s, how it manifested a lot of people to be a marketing brand. from
See,
a
I don't
Travis-
even want people to even tune in here who don't even know what that is. Like that's, you know what I mean, Jamie? Like if you don't even know what the
But we're talking about the global elite. I mean,
Right.
whether it's Travis Stock or MK Ultra
the
or
Tavistock Institute is still going on right. The Tavistock Institute is alive and well right now, 100% with the jab. Okay, it's happening right now, right in front of people's faces.
This
That
is
is-
where no, but Jamie's honestly, this is where we kind of see the chips fall into place. And I'll give you a good example. Like, look at the the Eagles of death metal. One of my favorite bands ever was Queens of the Stone Age, and still is. I love their music. I can't help it. But I mean, watching Josh be a friggin' watching him be a what did you call it, a crisis actor? No, man. I was like, I was floored. I literally was beside myself because I thought, out of all people, no. And then I started looking and saying, you know what? There's obviously some kind of coercement or something taking place. Like, people are told certain things and told to do certain things, and they respond a certain way. And it was just weird seeing what I was seeing. It was put on. It was a production, obviously, and they're all actors. But
well, see, sometimes we've got to be careful how far we reach out because some things do not connect with each other. And this is where misinformation and fear mongering and this is where misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
Good point.
misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
Good point.
misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
Good point.
misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
Good point.
misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
Good point.
misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
Good point.
misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where 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 misinformation and fear mongering, and this is where
I fully and completely take the blame for that. I left the fucking audio on one of my browser windows. That's totally my fault.
Okay.
One of your many browser windows, because you're broadcasting. I understand how it goes.
I want to
stop doing it.
Before we continue on,
I'm gonna you guys go ahead. I'm gonna confirm that it's fixed. Hang on. Go ahead, guys.
Before we continue on,
I'm stopped.
Yeah, hold on.
One stream. In fact, I'm
Raise your hand.
Before we continue on, I want to say thanks to the actual fans and the followers on Twitch who are telling us these glitches, because Rob's there. He's been working around the clock fixing all the audio and visuals and everything else. I want to say thanks for the viewers that are actually listening to this show, messaging in and chatting in the room, telling us, hey, you need to fix this, that. So, Rob, no fault on your own. You're all good. So
you forgot the other part. The people the haters. Jamie is a real life living giant. Okay, this guy's freaking huge, plays rugby, and it will crush you. So the haters, you can lick his balls.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be hit by that profile. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I've got some good news. I've lost 25 kilos over 5 months. You work that out in pounds. I'm currently on a diet.
That's a lot more pounds then. That's in pounds. Yeah. That's a lot. That's like 50.
Yeah.
We here in Australia, we go in kilos. Over in your neck of the woods, you go in pounds. So 25 kilos, what? 2.5 pounds equals what? How many kilos? I don't know,
man.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this, that America and the metric system could be a whole entire podcast in itself.
Can you work out in gematria?
Because you know what, America and Canada is totally metric, but because of America, we have to actually fall back on the imperial system for things like construction and trades and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, my dad is like,
I'm just happy. I'm happy with more people who have their cameras on.
I'd like to thank you guys. I'd like to thank everybody here on the panel. I want to thank you guys for being here and helping me test out the system. And thank you, like Jamie said to the audience. Thank you guys for being there and pointing out where we're screwing shit up. And yeah, man, together, no, we're gonna get this finely tuned machine humming and purring.
Well, there we are. We are on Twitch. All right.
We're already at a better start than we were at last time. So I'm thinking if we progress and make it a little better each time.
Maybe I'm some sort of good luck charm. I wasn't here last time.
Well, here's something very interesting. Did anybody here on the panel would have thought like 20 years ago that we will be all here doing this type of stuff? Technology just advanced itself so much that we can connect each other around the world, do a radio show, not actually be in a studio per se, but we've got like a studio type of background here. We've got Rob there doing the dials. We've got microphones. We've got headphones. We've got all that.
They've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah, but who would have thought 20
released the DOS finally?
But who would have thought 25 years ago that this was the next big thing, doing online radio, online podcasting, or whatever you want? Because this is where Australia is so different behind in technology to America and also Canada. We don't have any of these type of shows on radio, on online radio. And
because you're not allowed to talk about anything.
Well, right, and you're the test ground, right? So you know what's coming next. EMP. They're going to test it first. Let's see if it works well. Let's see how well it works.
It'll just be a hack. It'll just be a huge hack.
You guys had YouTube about 2 to maybe 3 years before it came to Australia. YouTube. Everybody jumped on YouTube and thought that was but now I think what's starting up is podcasting. Everyone's doing it now, but here in Australia, it's very limited.
What are the Aboriginals? There's a lot of Aborigines, correct, in Australia. What do they think about that? Well, they don't know anything about it.
Well, that's a pygmy, right?
Right. There's different. Some are pygmies, some are Aboriginals, but they are being freaking extincted just with these. God, my bad. I am gonna digress and just divert just for a second. There was how many animals destroyed in Australia just a couple of years ago? What did we get to? It was 100 million or so. Is that right? Or am I wrong, Jamie? You had the exact number. Was it 500 million? There was hundreds of millions of animals killed, and in those areas where all those animals were killed. There was Aborigines too, and they don't talk about them. That hundreds of thousands, if not millions, were killed. You know what I mean? And why I go there?
Yeah, well, that's what happened,
bro. That's a big part of Australia, is it not?
That's what happened last year. We had the major bushfires at the start of last year that started around October in 2019. It came over the Christmas, over the New Year period, all the way through to the middle of February. We had the bushfires over half a billion.
There you go.
$500 million 500 million of wildlife was perished. Many people lost their houses, and then within a matter of weeks, lockdown.
Where
was
the wildlife roams, that is where the Aborigines were roaming, and we did
Yeah.
not get numbers
Yeah.
on the Aborigines. So if you're talking about was that half a bill with a B? Billion?
Yeah, half a billion.
About how many of them were slaughtered? Much like, and we can go to the United States where the homeless are just suddenly disappearing.
Yeah, that's happening here too. Yeah.
They're
then-
just disappearing everywhere right now. I mean, I live
and then
where are they all at? There was
And
there
then-
were 10
and
cities.
then when the fires
They're
when the fires finished in the middle of February, within a matter of weeks, lockdown happened with COVID, and that's why in Australia and including New Zealand, we have got the most harshest lockdown measures in the world.
Right.
Now, if you want to talk about the numbers of death of COVID, the last report that I got, Australia is ranked 118th in the world, and yet Victoria, Melbourne, which is the next state over from where I am, had the longest lockdown in the world.
Well, that's what you get when you're ruled by a queen, bro.
Over 200 odd days under lockdown.
Who's Australia ruled by?
Pardon? Say that again.
Who's Australia ruled by? Besides the New World Order, the obvious things. A queen.
China.
Well, a queen rules your country officially. Well, unofficially, but officially to the Australian people. Who's your prime minister?
Well, the prime minister is now back from America
Uh-huh.
after spending that week with Joe Biden signing that submarine deal.
Yeah.
So he's back here and whatnot. We've got quarantine camps, which you can call FEMA camps for COVID. We've got all these camps being built all around Australia. We've got the
That's
Cunningham
insanity, bro. You have quarantine camps already.
Yeah, quarantine camps was talked about in that movie, 2020. What is it called?
Oh, there's tons of movies where they
Songbird.
talk about them.
Songbird.
That and so many others. Quarantine camps. And again, peeps, that's why we refer you to Australia. They have quarantine camps. There are 800.
They called them fear zones in that movie.
There are
Let me
two
stress
here.
this to people out there who forgot.
Yeah.
Stop thinking there's 800, over 800 FEMA camps
There's-
open,
Yeah.
operational.
There's
and
two of them
fully
here.
staffed,
Yeah.
And nobody's in them.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to go in those, peeps?
Yeah, there's two already waiting for people to, like, they're already fully staffed, completely ready to
800.
go. There's one in Alberta, one in southern Alberta, and there's also one in
Canada, you guys
in Manitoba.
have fun.
Oh, I'm sure we have more, but these
don't
ones are
need as
actually
many.
these are publicized. They are
I thought
actually
you don't
called
need as
COVID
many.
camps.
They started using them here in, where California.
Where are you at, Keith?
I'm in Nevada now, but like in
Oh, you're in the
California,
United
there's
States. So
Yes.
region 3,
well,
I think,
Vegas.
but 4. But there's 800 camps open, and the reason
Yeah,
you
they
guys
use
know
them
why.
for like homeless people in certain areas.
So we talk about the FEMA camps and such, but a lot of people do not know why they were built in the first place or what the reason was, the official reason was. Do you guys know? Tell me what the original reason to build these FEMA camps were.
No, I don't know.
I have an answer. I have an answer, but it's a little bit of
You have to have a reason to spend trillions of dollars
Yeah.
building them.
well,
Do you
because
know why?
they were planning for this right now.
Nope.
Yeah,
not
I
why.
like that.
It's
Yeah,
not the
or
official-
something
Yes.
like this.
That is exact. That's why they were. But the reason they were built and all this money was allocated to building them was for one reason. If our borders were rushed and we became overwhelmed with people rushing over our borders, like we're seeing right now, that's where they'd be housed until we can figure out what to do with them. So
Right.
riddle me this. Why are they still empty? Why do we have all these refugee or whatever camps? Nobody's being, that is the reason though. And
Yeah.
people need to know that. That is
Yeah.
a fact, Jack, and you can look it up.
Yeah.
This is the reason that trillions of dollars are allocated to these 800 FEMA camps is if our borders were being rushed.
Yeah, that's probably what they use to justify.
But not
it.
one
Absolutely,
person who's come over the border has been locked up in a FEMA
Yeah.
camp. They're in different camps.
Yeah.
So
And
who do you think these camps, which going back to you, Robert,
yeah.
correct.
I was just going
They
to say,
were
I was just
dead.
going to say you're right. And the thing is, though, is that they also lacked any leverage in the law to be able to enact any policies to put people like citizens into these places. But now, like 6 years, 7 years
put 'em
after
into
they've
other
been built,
places, though.
they do have the leverage now, because how many states have relinquished control to FEMA or to the UN in a state of an emergency? I think it's about 22 or 23 states now.
It's already been written into law. If there's a
Yeah.
national emergency, FEMA takes over.
That's right. Yeah.
Everything.
It takes
So-
one guy to do the wrong thing at the wrong time, and it pops off and gets ugly. Guess what? FEMA moves in, martial law. Okay, now
This is where we need to be focusing our
Yes.
thoughts on. Is there's 800. That's a hell of a lot of camps open and operational,
Yeah.
fully staffed.
and I can't stress
There you
this
go.
enough. I can't stress
Nobody's
this
in
enough.
them.
Yeah,
They're for you. Don't take the vax. You're going there. You
yeah.
get to a certain number.
And this brings up something that I always want to remind people. Like we tell people to say no, to revolt, but do it calmly, collectively, logically. Do not pop off, because we don't want to give them reasons to enact any of these
We
martial
still got the
activities.
info war going now, right now.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
This is a war of attrition, and we have to do things responsibly, or else it's over before it begins. And
But-
yeah,
digressing, going back to Jamie. I mean, he's saying they already have quarantine camps.
yeah.
God,
Well, so
are you
that's,
serious? What?
see, this
Quarantine
is,
camps.
the government will say, "Oh, it's there for citizens that returning back from overseas." Nah. They are rounding people up in Victoria and in New South Wales and in Queensland to put them into these quarantine camps, quote unquote. Now, one of the rulings that come out of the government's mouth in Victoria is you got to remain in that quarantine camp, and when you do get released, before you get released, you've got to have a COVID test, and it's got to be negative.
Mhm.
But they won't say that they will force the injection into your body
They won't
while
say
you're in-
90%.
while you're inside the quarantine. So if you refuse
Yeah.
to get,
Just
so-
saying.
yeah.
I
So
was
if
thinking
you
the
refuse,
same thing, sir.
Talk about a
So-
lose-lose.
yeah.
Mhm.
So if you, so
40
They-
cycles, dead
yeah,
cell.
hold on. So what they are saying is that you're supposed to stay in the quarantine camp for 14 days. But if you refuse to take a COVID test, you stay in there until you get a COVID test and also return a negative result. But what they won't tell you, while you're waiting for that test, you get shot with the freaking injection in your arm.
It's good. It's good for you though, man. It's what you got.
Yeah.
You should do.
Yeah, it'll put hair on your chest, you know? Yeah, man. It's, you know,
We
Why?
have to conform, right? We have to conform.
Your government loves you, man.
yeah, they have your
Well, here's
best
another-
interests in mind.
Well, here's
You
another
get
thing
that
I want
one?
to bring up. Here's another thing I want to bring up. There was a report that came out from a doctor here in Australia. Now, before you get your first jab, if you get COVID, you've got to wait 18 months after you've been diagnosed with COVID to get the jab. However, if you already had your first jab and you're waiting for your second jab, in between you get COVID, you still got to wait 18 months before you get your second shot.
Oh, really?
Because-
Oh, that's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. Wow.
So when do you get your second shot then? I mean,
Right.
it's so
Well,
dis-
I mean, here in the United States, you if you have your first jab, you have to wait 14 days. Then to get your if you get your second jab in that time until you're fully vaccinated. So anyone who dies with pre-existing conditions in that 14 days officially dies of COVID.
COVID death, COVID death. Yeah, yeah.
Unvaccinated because it was only 14 days. You over there, it's like how long? A year? 6
18
months?
months.
That's real.
When you get COVID, whether you're going
Sure, man.
before your first jab or you're waiting for your second jab. Say that you're about to get your first jab, but you get COVID. They will not administer the vaccine to you 18 months after you've been
How do
diagnosed.
the
with COVID.
Aborigines feel about this? Oh, they don't
The
take
re-
jabs. Got it.
That's
Why don't
why.
they count those in your numbers, Jamie? Did you notice that? They do not count Aborigines in the numbers. And Aborigines outnumber non-Aborigines in Australia still. They do not count them in the numbers. Why is that? Isn't that interesting? Just like they don't count Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do not count
Reservation
Indians.
Indians aren't counted either. That's right.
Native Americans here either because they're under a different law. Isn't that interesting? Go ahead.
No,
Well,
that
that
is
goes,
interesting.
that goes back to the Aboriginal people here in Australia. You don't hear anything from the Aboriginal people, whether they're getting sick, getting vaccinated, nothing. It's like that with the Indian tribe in North America. You don't hear anything about. But what they do in America, they blame the black community for being the cause of people getting sick because they refuse to get the jab or whatnot. And
which, by the way, makes absolutely zero sense because if somebody gets the job, technically they're supposed to be immune to it. So why would they be freaking concerned about it anyway? But I guess if you repeat something stupid enough times, people will still believe it and say, "Oh yeah, well it's science."
Yeah. But that's what I want to try to say to you guys, or not you guys, because you guys already know, but the people that just currently tuning in. What you see in Australia, we got one of the hardest lockdown protection orders, all due to public health and safety. But yet the police can fire rubber bullet, tear gas, flashbangs, beat you up, put you in a quarantine camp,
slam you into the ground.
Yeah, in a direction. And now that we're seeing people around the world protesting in the name of Save Australia, because they are seeing what it's actually happening now. Like in New York 2 days ago, there was a protest at the Australian consulate building in New York. But check this out. Right across the road from the consulate building was Pfizer. That's where Pfizer is. And it's like, you can't make this crap up if you tried.
Mm-hmm. And I will say one thing I'm pretty sure of, like this is just a personal observation, is that in most larger cities, your downtown areas where you have like your city halls and your embassies and everything, that's prime real estate, and it usually gets picked up first by very influential people. And I'll let people use their imaginations of your wherever you're from, but guaranteed.
I don't think many people really truly understood that Pfizer their building is right across the road from the Australian consulate building in New York. The Australian government is funding Big Pharma to push out all these stupid crap on the people. And yet, even if you are vaccinated, but you stand for pro-choice, you are getting reprimanded and stood down from your job because you got a political, with that's their quote, you've got a political standpoint that goes against their narrative, goes against their agenda. But you've already taken the vaccine. But if you have a political standpoint or view, you are reprimanded, you are stood down from your work. Yeah. Last year, all these doctors and nurses were called heroes. But if they refuse to get the jab, they're treated like second-class citizens.
Like a Twisted Sister video. I ask you, what are you going to do about it?
I'm on a rock.
What are you going to do about it?
No, I mean, I want a chunk of rock. You ain't crack.
Shot to the heart, and you're to blame. Well, you give COVID a bad name.
Bad name. By the way,
I don't condone the use of drugs, but if you do drugs, do it for the right reasons.
Yep. And D. Snyder can lick our balls. One of the biggest pushers of that. Really, D, you're all about. What are you gonna do about it? I want to rock. Yeah, fuck you, dude. You bastard. Kiss. Gene Simmons, lick my balls too. You old bastard. Fucking, you look scary. You ain't scary. Come see a real fucking champ, bro.
I think there's an entire generation of these other stars the ones that we grew up with, by the way.
I want to know. I want to know Slipknot. I want to know which bands are mandating vaccines. If they are,
there's a certain category though. I can't put my finger on it. It doesn't have a name, but there's a certain group of these people that kind of fall under this category of just always following the trend. You know what I mean? And like I'll give you an example. Like Bruce Springsteen, he was down and out until the goth movement really kicked in, and then he did that really somber album back. It was like, I think it was like in the mid '90s, and like nobody had heard from him for years. But he's like, oh, maybe I can pick up on this next, theme, I guess you could say. Anyway, there's like a lot of followers as far as actors and musicians and these things go.
Jamie has a real problem with these musicians because he's interviewed so many legendary bands over the years.
Yes,
and
there. Ghost
them,
of Eric.
Right. Just become libtards.
Mm. You're like a force ghost. I'm just hearing your voice. The camera's like, you're not in it. That's awesome. Okay, that's what I got to do next. Is I got to do like a force ghost kind of a thing. Oh yeah, I got a great little project coming up. Oh, speaking of projects, I came up with an idea. I mentioned it to you gentlemen earlier, and I just wanted to make an announcement for people listening now or later. I'm thinking of a project of basically simulating a TCP/IP, which is internet, but via ham radio. And it would be for like an emergency off-grid scenario where you can at least send messages out through the internet. And I mean, you have to have your gateways and what have you set up beforehand, but I'm sure somebody would be able to facilitate that. Elon Musk. But yeah, no, it's an interesting project. Developers who know anything about ham radio and sending digital encryption over radio waves, I think would be a very, very good thing to kind of set up in a sense where we can actually develop it and put it out for use and availability in case a solar flare hits us or, the zombie apocalypse or whatever, But
or whatever.
Yeah, no, you know what happens when I start to talk about it? I'm still developing the idea. I get these other ideas. They just jump in my head. I kind of had an Elon moment there in my head. But yeah. Anyway.
Like processing.
No, it's trying to hear the one out of the 1,000 voices that actually has a good idea in my head. I'm trying to listen to it and not the other 900. So.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
I want to hear this guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's like. No,
it's working well, by the way, kids.
Is it working good? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, well, I have these little Bluetooth headphones, so I take these off from the wireless microphone, walk away, and still hear everything going on and comment on it.
Yeah, no, that was great. No, you sounded like pitch perfect. And in fact, yeah, it was good because you sounded like a force ghost all of a sudden, like you weren't there. I was like, oh, the ghost of Eric.
It's working though. Yeah,
that's fantastic. No, I'm really happy because this went along without too many hitches. I mean, a couple of buggeroos, but those were even professionals make some of these mistakes. Like they leave one of their browsers open or something like that. Like nothing ever goes 100% the plan. But I digress. Go ahead, Jamie. You were saying?
No. I'm getting messages on that. Someone's saying, well, hold on. I'm just reading.
Are you on Twitch right now, Jamie?
Yes, I am on Twitch. I've got 4 viewers on there already.
Looks good over there.
There was some audio problems before. Cash said that she's going to have to do a write-up and a video for us all. Yes, you will have to do that. I don't know what's going on. But I just want to say this. To the listeners on Twitch right now, can you actually hear us properly? Because some saying it's echoey, it's glitchy. I just want a thumbs up if you're listening to us. Please give it.
Through my alternate monitor, it sounds good.
Some people might have tuned in later and are watching the beginning of the stream, so they might be in the chat and out of sync with the current location of the video. That could sometimes you could like what do you mean it's off, and then you go and change it and you actually just fucked it up. But
Rob,
I
just got confirmation from Zadikin. He said it's all good. So we're doing well. We're doing well.
Thank you, sir. It's like one of our 4 listeners. You're awesome, bro. Love you. But no, I really thank you guys. Thank you so much, man. Nikani, to everyone, blah, blah. Oh yeah, I got the chat open up finally over on. I was wondering when he'd show up. Oops.
I don't just that my lifestyle.
Keith, we need. Hold on, Eric. Keith, we need to show you the video so you know what we're laughing at.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we're not
yeah.
laughing at the person because
Oh,
he's
it's
got
funny
a-
without the video.
Yeah, yeah, you can't unsee the video. Like once you see it, that's when it gets funnier because you can't unsee
Yeah.
it.
God love this guy. God love him. God love this guy. He's got Down syndrome, and I just want to give my hat off to him. I have a soft spot for those.
Yeah,
type of
him,
people.
he's fucking multi-millionaire right now, just from one freaking 15-second.
No, man, bless him
Yeah.
because you know what? He's just giving her. He's just fucking giving her. Like that's
Yeah,
that's
you got
great,
what
man.
you give is what you get, man. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you see his throat, like like. But like, he just, he's got to
We
be a
need a
he's got to be a video
We-
game. I swear to God.
We need a soundbite. We need a soundbite of that.
Oh,
you
I'm
know?
working
Every
on
time
that.
when Eric wants to
I'm
put
hooking
his
that
finger
up
on the
right-
button, that thing gonna come up.
Right
is
after
gonna
the
be-
show. I want to put that. You know what? Keith remembers when I used to do a show called what was it? Rapid Fire Free for All. And
Hey,
the premise was
Rob.
supposed to be. Hey, listen.
Sorry.
we need to give that guy. No. Hold on. We need to give that guy his own show.
We
We
got to
need
give
to
that
give
guy
that-
keys to the fucking mansion. Are you kidding me? Yeah, for sure. I'm in.
We need to give that guy his own show. We need to put together some photos and that, and then this soundboard just goes over the top of it.
I don't know what's
here we go.
going on.
I don't know why I like the idea. I don't know if I should feel bad for doing it. I feel bad a little bit. I should probably feel bad a little bit.
Uh,
It used to be the Love Boat for a while, but now it's just gotten better. Yeah.
It just kills me. Do you guys remember the show? What the hell was it called? No, because oh man,
You watch the video once, you're gonna watch it like for 15 minutes.
it's playing back in my head already. I can't help it. Our new sponsor.
hey, we need that guy. No. Hold on.
This show
We
is
need that
sponsored
guy-
by.
We need that guy to sponsor us. We're going to do a sponsor clip, like a promo clip, and this guy's going to be in it. He needs his own sponsor. He needs his own logo. He needs to have everything. So if you want to drop a comment in the chat room, so if you want to drop a comment in the chat room,
My bad. I meant to mute.
That's hilarious.
It's gonna play it out like over again. It's like that's too many times.
We didn't promise the audience. We didn't promise you guys anything totally constructive. This is EPG. This is EPGN Radio, where we like distractions.
so Eric, did that guy have a name? The guy
on EPGN Radio.
Online.
Live. Welcome to the resistance.
Nice. Let's see if I-
so yeah
We can promo like a motherfucker up in this bitch.
Liam.
let's see if
Hey, what about that What about that Krispy Kreme guy? We want that Krispy Kreme guy to make
Yeah.
a comeback.
Now, you know what? Robert, how old are you?
47. I think either this year or next year. I'm not sure. One of those.
49. So that particular Krispy Kreme came out. This is how old we are in 2012.
Wow.
That's how old it is. So a lot of
Yeah.
people have not seen that.
I got 400 cars.
That's 9 years ago, man.
400
So
guitars.
it's like motherfuckers are saying Led Zeppelin isn't classic rock anymore. That's it's Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
No.
That's classic rock now.
You know what the
Led
best thing
Zeppelin
is?
Ancient rock.
I like it when these millennials, or not even the millennials, the ones after them, I don't what the hell they call them, but they mistakenly call us boomers. It's like there's
Fucktards.
boomers are dead, you retard.
Yeah, but I seeing that's putting down people with disabilities. These people are
No. Those guys are the heroes. No, guys,
Right, they willingly have let themselves become
able-bodied people with
Yeah.
brains that they're in
Indeed.
control of just kind of exhibit like
Yep.
horrible
I miss
judgment.
the days when you could be like, "You're gay, man," without being called like canceled.
Gay.
We got to cancel it out. You're offending a bunch of people.
Here's
Give
the thing.
everything
Here's the
metal.
thing. Here's what they do. They say you can't say this word because it's offensive.
Don't
But
call
here's
somebody a
another
faggot.
word. Here's another word for that. And then 20 years later, you can't
Don't
say
use
that word. Yeah, you can't use that
Even if
word
you-
anymore.
even if
The new
you
word
dance at a
exists.
gay bar as a stripper, don't use that word. Not me, maybe, but anywho, don't use that word. I miss those days.
Yeah,
where
I'm
people get
uniquely
so
uniquely
offended.
qualified.
Like back in the day, there was only one word that you never used because it means less than human. That was the N word.
Moist. Oh, that one.
Well, yeah. What?
You just don't use moist in a conversation.
He just said moist. Oh my god. Don't
We're
you-
not, we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to use the word noodle.
Who the fuck
Noodle-
ever said don't use the
Noodles
word
are
moist?
banned on this show. Noodles are banned on this show. 2-minute
Hey.
noodle banned.
Imagine
Noodles
if moist was
banned.
the word of the day on
So if
on
you're a
TV or-
catfish hunter in the southern United States,
Hello, you can get some really good mushrooms from
That wouldn't
Robert
work.
also.
you know what,
1-800
man?
Mushrooms.
I miss psilocybin. I want to go on another
Moist.
mushroom journey, man.
Don't ever use that word.
I've been waiting 10 years to drop that joke. I think I stole it for something.
No more noodles on this show, man. The N word is a bad one. Noodles. No noodles. No
Ain't
ramen noodles.
No.
No ramen noodles. No 2-minute noodles.
Ain't no sunshine when noodles gone. In this house, you staying at home. Ain't no noodles when you're gone and when you're not moist.
On EPGN Radio, your degeneration station.
Indeed.
Yeah. As we walk in the joint, I take my cover shot and then I sing hallelujah. Hey, big summer.
In a
So-
time.
I don't know how long we're going to be going for, but I'd like to talk a little bit about the shedding and the fact that these people who are taking these gene therapies are shedding all over us unvaccinated.
Yeah.
Like to get people's take on this. Anybody?
Well, I came across it first on what's that called? Instagram. On my on this account that is like Gematria database, and it was just like through the feeds, like of the people that follow me or whatever, or maybe the people I follow, which are probably the same people. So I end up like noticing that they were talking about all these like weird symptoms that people were having, and there's no reason for it, and they're like blotchy like things on their like legs and weird stuff like blood clots and things like that, and these are being reported from people to people in this world, right? That I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? And I just like joined that shit just to put out the memes, from the gematria. So like, if there's like a kind of narrative story that makes sense, that the numbers all correlate and it's
Right.
like kind of sound, then I make a meme out of it and throw it into that world.
Or like when I interviewed one of the top scientists of her generation, Judy Mikovits, or Dr. Sharon Tenpenny, who are telling you these people are shedding on you. And a year ago, they were the top scientists. Now they're conspiracy theorists, folks.
Hey, the inventor of the PCR test, the one that they use to detect COVID and shit. The inventor got banned for life on Twitter when he announced, he goes, that this is not what the test is designed to do, and they banned him for life off of Twitter. And
he died.
And it's dead now.
So you have the vaccinated who are all concerned and scared of those who are unvaccinated, even though they're vaccinated. So why should they be scared of the unvaccinated?
Yeah, if they're immune, they're immune.
Reverse and flip shit because the people who are unvaccinated should be fearful.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't be fearful. They should find a way to use naturopathic medicine to combat the shedding, which there are ways to do that. That's for another show.
Absolutely.
But that's how they flipped it.
I would look forward to that.
Literally shedding. Like if you sweat a bunch, like you're sweating, right? Shaking it off.
That's your body getting rid of waste.
That's what's happening with the unvaccinated. And that should be a very scary thing to people who are not aware of naturopathic medicine.
Yeah.
So instead of whining and crying and saying, oh, the vaccinated the unvaccinated are going to get me. Why don't you find out about naturopathic medication and use a shield against that? Why don't you use something like this, which I have these all over my house, Shungai rocks, to keep these electromagnetic waves from hitting you. I mean, there are ways to do this. There is a reason why I haven't been sick in 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 years.
I haven't been sick in a long time myself.
No sickness.
I've been hungover a few times, but I haven't been sick
live
either.
The healthiest lifestyle? Hell no. But aside from being burnt out, nope.
Yeah.
No sickness. Why is that? Naturopathic medication. Simple as that.
The body is a collection.
All of this.
The body is a collection of systems, and like all those systems work in harmony.
That with I am not a medical professional, so I'm not allowed to say that that's medical advice.
Yeah, not at all. But information-wise,
this process to the alien takeover of the body snatchers.
Are you into that? Are you into that, like secret space program and such? Because I am big time.
Yeah, I researched the secret space program.
Ditto. I had a partner for a couple years named Roberto Garza. He was in the Air Force. He was part of the secret space program, and some of the stuff he told me, wow. And there is a larger battle here for small minds who want to like stick with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That we're talking about right now, like I am, like you are. There is a larger war, like Star Wars shit is going on.
Yeah.
Then you have these people who go, well, the earth is flat. There's nothing else out there. And I mean, it just blows my mind. These people are that limited in their thinking.
Maybe they're the pod people.
Yes. I mean, that's how much more narcissist did you get?
Because in a weird way, that's the exact
only form
plot.
of life is on the earth, and everything else.
Maybe that's what that movie and it was always a movie, right?
Yeah.
Was it a book? I don't know. Anyway, maybe that's what it was originally trying to portray, is that this was going to happen.
Like, if you want to say the earth's flat, that's fine, but you better acknowledge that this is a big matrix, and there's matrices outside that. I mean, that's just, it's such just limited thinking. We've only gone 12,000 miles down inside the earth. And the earth goes millions of miles down. We don't even know what's down there. Admiral Byrd told us there's a whole different freaking world on the other side of Antarctica, but that's stuff that's being suppressed
there's actually
concealed constantly. That's never coming up. Nobody talks about Tartaria, this continent that was supposedly bigger than Asia and Europe put together, that's completely been rewritten out of the history books. We don't talk about that.
Here's the thing.
Just like anything else.
That's
being they're gonna. David Crowley said it best. Gray Stage and Gray State. He said the Second American Revolution may not be remembered, and everything right now is digital. People aren't taking. They don't have the flip camera taking pictures of shit. If the internet goes down forever, everything changes. They can rewrite history, and that's how they've done it. In fact, I'm not so sure that we weren't way more advanced than this at one point, and they rewrote all that stuff.
Well,
But they
here's the
couldn't
thing. Here's the
get
thing about that. There's a lot of study for the ice core
Love this
samples
subject.
that they've taken. And these things, they go back 14,000 years, and they're starting to see that there were cataclysmic events. And there's also a period of time around 12,000 years ago that show chemicals like signs of processing and manufacturing. So we were definitely at some point. Now, our tectonic plates, they slide under each other. So like it kind of reprocesses the
And those
continents.
chemicals have been shown to exist on other planets too.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
people on here going other planets. Those don't. They're just like they're the CGI. They're blips.
But here's
Like
the thing.
this entire universe revolves around the Earth.
But here's
I
the
just
thing.
can't
If
get
there's
down
a
with that.
bigger story, there has to be a bigger story, and I don't think we're the only ones in it. You know what I mean?
No.
And here's the thing. Remember Professor Doom? Of course you do. On Bill's show, he did a whole breakdown of his research on the different blood types, and it corresponds with basically another species adapting itself to our species and creating our species for slavery and other things.
Well,
So
it's
you
a
have
fact.
different
It's a fact.
categorizations.
The royal family. Every
Yeah.
single person in the royal family is the same blood type.
Yes.
Until recently, when they started marrying outside their blood type.
Yeah.
It got sketchy, but that's the fact.
It was with other RH
It is
negatives
breeding.
though. So other ORH negative people they
let's
can
take
mate
it a
with.
step further. Interbreeding. The royal
Interbreeding
family
is done. Yeah.
Farthest
absolutely.
you can go back is second cousins.
Yeah.
It's a fact, people.
And
The
the
people are like,
RH,
oh, there's the queen. There's the queen.
the
Oh,
RH factor.
oh my
It's
God, they're fucking incest.
Yeah. Yeah,
Brothers
the
and
theory though,
sisters.
the theory is that the RH factor was introduced to prevent the two different species from interbreeding,
Yep. Yes.
and somehow they made it work. It was
Well,
what's
you always
his nuts.
got
There-
some rebel
Yeah,
who wants
and
to jump outside their blood. They're fucking RH.
and there was the one deity though who broke the code, basically created some kind of medication that would stop it from preventing it and would let the pregnancy continue. And they have that. They use that to this day for ORH negative and ORH positive couples.
If you're not that blood type, you ain't getting into the club. It's a big club. You ain't in it.
Yeah. See, I'm
What's that, George Carlin?
I'm ORH positive myself, but at least I'm an O. Hey, they might not want to kill me off right away, but the A's and B's are
But
fucked.
Well, see, Max Egan talked about Tentaria, and
Yes.
he does a lot of shows on that too.
What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? A continent bigger than Europe and Asia put together that's completely been written out of the history books. The mud floods. I mean, there's so much history that's been, and this is it's done because well, they can.
It's also irreparable history. You can't go back and re-find it out because it's already been reprocessed by the planet. So,
But you can't find evidence, and people
you can
that
find
take
evidence. Yes.
time-
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Time to
Absolutely.
look at this evidence. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah,
Looking
and I've always said this too, guys, that history will always repeat itself. You
In
got
ways,
to
yeah.
find that.
Well,
I mean,
if
you
we
gotta
keep
find-
erasing
you
the
gotta
fucking
find-
books, if we keep erasing the books like that, I mean,
Yeah.
of course it's going to
Yeah.
repeat itself.
Well, a
That's what's
prime
happening again.
example is the concentration camps in Nazi Germany.
It's
Now,
happening
I'm
again.
not saying that Hitler was a saint or anything, but they need to look at the other side. Who is financing both sides? The Zionists. Who are the Zionists primarily? Who are they? They were Jewish. So you have this whole propaganda. Who owns all the banks?
Rothschilds.
What? And I am not one of those guys who say that they own everything, because there is a otherworldly force that controls all of these little amoeba running around like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers up there.
Yeah.
Superior intelligence, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Not that I know this, but let's look back at how that was rewritten. Let's look at Stalin, freaking one of the worst freaking human beings on the earth. But what was he fighting against?
Yeah,
He was fighting against an equal force that was just as bad, which
See,
were called what you would call the Zionists or the
That's exactly
Canaanites.
right.
But we can go a lot of different directions with that.
But see,
What I'm saying is that
it
they
might
don't
not-
teach this in history books.
Yeah, it might
They
not even
don't
be
tell you-
aliens interacting. Like it might just be the
They don't
relics
tell
they
you
left
the
behind.
Millions of Germans who were massacred
Yeah,
by the other side. They don't talk about that.
no,
At
of course
all.
they don't. Of course they don't.
Stalingrad. Yeah, Stalingrad.
They also don't talk
they-
about Operation Paperclip.
Right. I got
Well,
schooled.
yeah, Operation Paperclip. Yep.
I got schooled because we like to say Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, okay, there was a lot of other, you had the Axis, the Allies, and a lot of stuff went on in between. And neither side, my whole point in this is do not glorify either side, both sides.
Yeah. I think they're all working for the same people, to be honest with you. Now.
Yeah, there you go. Simple as that.
Like
the ones at the highest levels, all scum.
Like
all
it's like the Olympics. It's
Controlled
like it's
opposition.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like these organized events. Like how can countries that are currently at war, globally speaking, participate in an event together? Without, you know what I mean? Like they have to have some level of cooperation, you know what I mean, and coordination to be able to do something like that. So
people have to ask themselves, why is the whole Hitler Nazi thing like the big? I mean, if you ask any kid from our generation and up, who the worst freaking genocider was in the world, they'd say what?
Well, they would say Hitler, but it was probably
say Hitler, but that's
probably Genghis Khan or somebody.
Mao Zedong, Stalin, Pol Pot,
Genghis Khan, man.
And those numbers were lies, and they don't show numbers on the other side. A lot of these Axis forces were just fighting for their lives.
What's that crazy number? Isn't it like 1 out of every 20 people have like Genghis Khan's DNA or something like that?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Named another one. So
like
there's something, but it's all the Nazis.
Yeah,
it's all their fault. That's the worst thing that ever happened.
But here's the thing that people have to put into perspective: that all of these things are linked events in a chain of ownership. Like if you go backwards through that chain, it will go back to the bloodlines. It'll go back to the source of this. Now, there might be an alien element to this. It's either the relics. It's either the relics they left behind or direct contact, one or the other.
But you try to speak about this and talk about this in a different light, you're labeled an anti-Semite.
I'm anti everything. I don't give a fuck.
But immediately you try to go against the Nazis. Go ahead to somebody on the street and try to say, what?
No, they'll shut you down in a heartbeat. They'll think you're trying to mug them or something.
Right. Hitler was a bad guy, but he was just trying to survive and trying to get his people to survive. And then you got evil, and these people are all evil. And they're all powerful.
I'll give you an example. Like people say, do you like Trump? I say I like him, but I hate him for different reasons than you do. You know what I mean? Like he's a scumbag. He's a scumbag, but he's a scumbag for different reasons than you're being led to believe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Imagine where we'd be if Trump was still in office.
I think he's the best president you've had in a long time.
He's not meant to be in office. Well, he was put there for a reason, man.
Well, hypothetically speaking,
I don't disagree.
If Hitler was young now in this generation, do you think anything would have changed what he did back in World War II, or do you think it will be escalated even further?
No, I think they've reached a pinnacle. It was a breaking point. I think everybody had enough money made from both sides of the table. And then it was like, all right, okay, we can end this. And then the next one started. It was the Cold War. So like now it was the big money. Because now they got the scientists from the World War II thing with Operation Paperclip.
Look at Project Paperclip. Scientists, doctors.
I was just saying, yeah. And that led to ICBM technology. And then the big money really started with the Cold War. And everybody bought like 100 million fucking ICBM nukes. Nukes. And there you are. Yeah. That's why World War II ended. And
Putin. I wish Putin fucking was our president because I love that guy.
I like Putin, man. I'm rooting for Putin.
I shouldn't say I love him. He's gangster. Yeah. But he's gangster. He's gangster like Scarface.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm rooting for Putin, man.
The tiger in the eyes and the tiger back down.
Hey, do you remember when
multi-level degree black belt? Yeah. The guy's certified like a real man. Then we have our guy.
He'll kill you with the paperclip, that
dude.
Guy. Yeah. No, it's funny. He's got that kind of Daniel Craig kind of look to him, but he shook.
He does.
Obama's
Daniel
hand. I remember.
Craig is an actor. Daniel Craig can't do what he does in the movie.
I know. There is a
black belt. I mean, the dude will fuck you up.
Do you remember when he shook Obama's hand and there's that big classic picture and he wasn't looking at the camera. He was like looking at Obama. Obama's like got that cheesy grin looking at the camera head on. And it's just like, that one of those guys is a steely, cold-blooded killer. And, man, we need somebody like that now.
Let's take it a little further. So how many vaccine mandates are there in Russia right now?
I have not a clue right now at all. I did a whole project on them.
Here's how many. 0. Isn't that interesting?
It's
I
not
think that's
surprising.
why the word
Yeah, that's-
love came out of my
that's
mouth.
because
I
they're
don't
too
love
busy
any of
drinking
these.
vodka.
Yeah.
Any of these leaders. They're all gangster. They all got some shit going on. But Putin is a little different breed. And yes, they're a zero. So the Communist Party, right? Communist. They're still trying to push that. Russia,
Yeah.
0 vaccine mandates. In the United States, I think we have 13 or 14 states who are mandating it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Canada, I
A
think
federal government saying if you have over 100 employees, it's already been mandated and passed by.
Biden announced that last week, didn't he?
But Russia's communist. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean.
But here's my justification for why I like Putin, and it's the fact that, for instance, leading a country, you have to have certain prerequisite skills. I don't care who you are, you have to be good at certain things.
Unless you are leading the USA, then you don't have to be good.
You don't have to be good at anything.
Obviously,
you just have to be able to check your Twitter
what's
account.
Biden good at?
But
I digress, guys.
The reason I like Putin though is because he looks really comfortable at his job. He knows what he's doing, and he's got his shit in the group. You know what I mean? They always.
I like Putin is because he stared a tiger in the eyes and the tiger backed down.
He rode the tiger. He rode the tiger home and parked it in his garage.
Have you guys seen this video?
I did, yeah.
I know Jamie has. He looked. I mean,
But,
and that could have been staged, but he's a second
But
black belt.
that's it. If he staged it, it's brilliant. I mean, that's really good propaganda. I'm telling you. But I'm not condoning propaganda. What I'm trying to say is that
right,
he's got skills. He's got skills at certain things, and it's obvious. Like, you know what I mean? Like he can captivate a group of people just by sheer. He's got charisma. You know, he's got all those things, and he'll kill you if you don't.
Right? We talk shit about North Korea and China, and yet Australia is just as bad, if not worse, right now. So
yeah. Well, the thing is,
it's got to be learning this. Instead of talking about China and North Korea, you better start saying we're going to become like Australia because you have no idea what's going on there.
Wow, man! Look, the British Empire.
We watched it.
The British
they burned
Empire
out
literally
all your wildlife. They
burned
ran
out
all the Aborigines.
They ran the whole show for a while. You know, like the British did pretty
massacred
good.
Them.
You know, like,
we won't even talk about what's going on in Africa right now.
Well, you know, that's why they gave all these countries their autonomy back in like the 80s, like in 87, 80, 88. We're kind of spreading ourselves out a little thin, you think?
I mean, that's
the
major put a little new order over here.
So the major problem with Australia is that the old way is she'll be right, mate. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And that's why people will follow. They don't actually push back as much. They just allow it to happen. And this is where Australia has fallen on its knees long time ago, where they just follow the sheep. They are guinea pig to the system. And they are okay with that. But right now, what you see and hear from Australia right now, it's just
it doesn't matter, though. You know, I hear people saying, "Jamie, why do you still live there? Why don't you get out?" Well, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
They're surrounded by ocean.
Let me make a vital statement. Let me make a very vital statement. With the current situation here in Australia, what is the solution? There isn't any. Because let me make a vital point here.
Build a bigger boat.
Right.
No.
Right, Robert.
I'm being serious. There are currently 4 things in Australia that you cannot have: freedom of speech, protection, defense, and
now. Why are they saying that? What reasons are they justifying?
That was a shooting in 96. That was a shooting. It was a shooting in 96, I think.
Yeah, dude. That's. I mean, they already got guns. I just want to freedom of speech. I mean, it's bad, dude.
I haven't finished what I'm saying. Put yourself in that situation that you don't have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You don't have protection. They can track you down. They can track you down, gain your information. Blah 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 blah.
You can do that here.
Most importantly, you don't have any defense organism to defend yourself.
Yeah,
you can't defend yourself here.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
See, Jamie, Canada would be in the exact same position as you if we weren't perched right next to the United States, who has a constitution.
Rob, you're Canada.
Like, if it wasn't for them. I'm just saying,
not that far away. Yeah, but hold on. Australia's
Canada,
not that
Canada's
far away
here
from
before we
America.
do. Trudeau is
no,
like,
you're separated by an ocean, though. There's an
You're
ocean
in
that separates
Canada?
you. We're right on the American
Right.
border. That's what I
No,
mean.
You're in
no.
Canada?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No,
Robert,
no.
you're in Canada?
Yeah, I'm in British Columbia.
Oh yeah, you guys get it just a little bit before we do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And and our pushover prime minister is
Oh
a
my
piece of shit.
goodness.
That's
Mhm.
because Canada's part of the Commonwealth. That's why.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have
Yep.
always
Guys
been
ruled by Queen.
we've always been a listening post, and basically perched right next. We're always telling Britain what's going on. Our spy towers on Sussex Boulevard there in Ottawa. Oh yeah, we catch everything.
You're in Ottawa.
We're the dirtiest little pigs in the farm. I'm telling you right now.
Yes.
Canada's got some secrets, man.
But yeah, Trudeau is that's an evil motherfucker, dude. Wow.
He's looking more and more like his dad in Cuba every day.
Wow. I thought
And that's why. And that's one of the reasons why you're saying now that people in America are protesting for Australia, because you guys in America, you still have freedom of speech.
Who? Where's the protest? We ain't doing shit over here, man. Nobody's doing nothing. They're getting jabbed. We're gonna. The thing is, people will know once they disarm us, once they take our right to our Second Amendment and our First Amendment, it's over. People, all eyes are on the U.S. And I'm not a big Bible guy. Okay, I've read freaking the New Testament, the Old Testament. I've read the Quran. I've read several different versions of several different Bibles, but they all say the same thing. Once the United States
don't be
falls,
a dick.
they point to there is a place where you can be free, and we're the last free republic. And once we fall, it's over, and all eyes are on us. Would you agree, Jamie?
Yeah.
I think they took the best parts of like a bigger book and just gave like a Cole's Notes version.
Right. I mean, how many people did the Buddha slaughter? I mean, give me a fucking break.
I mean, yeah.
There are elements of the Kabbalah and of the Buddhism and the Tao that they can't seem evil, but you know what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the Bible that are evil too.
Like how many people in the Crusades got murdered?
Right.
Just saying.
I'm gonna wipe out the entire earth and I mean, and maybe they deserved it.
How do you like Jesus?
This is all, and again, the word Jesus, that's the one that always grinds my gears, bro, is the word Jesus, because the letter J didn't even exist until 500 years after Jesus died. Look it up.
It's probably a
You know what I'm
democracy thing.
Right. The letter J didn't even exist. People call him Jesus. And they got this white guy with he was from the Middle East.
And hey, and fun fact, that's his language, Aramaic. In his language, the
like
W is the sixth letter of the alphabet. It's pronounced wa. And guess what? It was what's it called? There's CERN that created the TCP/IP protocol, and World Wide Web is
You said
666.
CERN? You said CERN.
Yeah,
Albert
CERN.
Pike explained this well, but CERN. Let's segue to that. I don't know how much longer we have to go. I don't have much longer because
I don't have any plans, so I'm here to not.
CERN is something that has been forgotten, and I did a lot of research into CERN
Likewise.
a while ago in the Large Hadron Collider. And
I'd love to get your take on that. Yeah, later. Yeah, another show.
You have scientists seeing things coming out of it, and they didn't believe in God or anything beyond this earth, and all of a sudden they're changing their mind. Yeah. All of that has been quieted.
Yeah.
How often do you hear anything about CERN right now?
That's weird.
And
what's with those weird, those weird freaking ritualistic dance videos that they professionally film and put on these like shows?
Oh my god, dude!
There's so many.
Like, one of the most hits I ever got on YouTube. You remember that, Jamie? That CERN video I had where they were doing like this crazy dance.
Yeah.
Opening, and it was on Reuters and other, and well, I got nuked, but.
Oh man,
that's still going on, kids.
Yeah,
it hasn't stopped.
No, it's offline because they're doubling it. They're doubling the power, and by doubling it, I mean exponentially. So it's actually be a factor of 2. So it's
let's make that a point.
Times what it is.
Let's do that.
It's still going on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let's make that a point, guys, to really dig into what's going on in CERN.
CERN is behind so much. They like I said, the TCP/IP protocol that created the internet, IP4, IP6, like they are key players in this whole controlling of the masses project that started
It's
pretty much in
everything.
1967.
Look up Operation High Jump. Look at Obama and others who were supposed jumpers, teleportation to other planets. I mean,
Apparently that's a thing too. And you know, I'm sure there's a fair amount of disinformation that goes along with that. But you gotta, yeah.
Will we ever know if it's true?
Yeah.
Well, until we
That's
do
just
it, no. But once
the
you have
thing is,
credible people telling
yeah.
you stuff, you know that's a sign.
Yeah.
Having credible data and credible facts from credible sources.
And
People
lots
have
of
been
it,
there.
because when you have lots of it, you can start cross-referencing things that have similarities and start seeing where the bullshit's coming from, kind of deal.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shit that comes out of my mouth does not come from myself or what
Yeah.
I've seen. It comes from people I've interviewed
that's
who,
right.
who are credible, who have been in these programs.
Yeah,
Maybe they're there to be shills and give you disinformation, but
yeah.
you have to discern that. There's
Remote
a reason
viewing.
why this is coming out. Shit, there's more alien and spacecraft sightings than ever before in the
Yeah.
last year than ever. Nobody cares
Yeah.
because of COVID.
And
know what
when
I
you
mean?
hear
It's like
when you
They're
hear people say,
disclosing this to people, and nobody cares.
yeah, when they say there's no footage, yeah, there's footage. Just there's no outlets to distribute it
Tons
on.
of footage.
Yeah, there's tons of fucking footage everywhere.
Problem is now that the technology has become so good and easy to use for anybody that anybody can fake shit now.
Yeah,
You know, back in the day, if you saw something in the sky on like a 9mm camera, it was probably true.
Yeah,
Now,
it was
I
a
mean,
lot harder to. Yeah, you didn't have Photoshop. You actually had to have a real Photoshop.
Right.
Yeah.
You remember that 9/11 video of Building 7 and they put like King Kong, Godzilla on top, just try to make people look like shills
Yeah.
as Building 7 collapsed into its own footprint
Yeah.
at free fall speed.
I have the video. It's on
Wildfires.
BeerTube. The one taken with the JVC Handycam. There's no plane in this video. Like,
Right. Have you seen it? The one they put out? They put like Godzilla and
Yeah,
a dragon flying past to make it look stupid. But I'm like, okay, but take those out and here's the original footage.
yeah.
They
And
collapsed
it was
into-
just an explosion. Like it's guys
Right.
on I think he's on a car or like a bus or a boat or something. Like he's.
But they divide that community too, because now you
Yeah.
got the thermite versus direct energy weapons versus
Nah,
nukes.
That's where the misinformation comes in, because there's so many
Yeah.
angles you can take it. People, somebody will sit on one of those angles of, well, it's this, and push that, and they all have a certain amount of credence that you can lend them, right? So it's like,
I'm sure you've seen those banners on YouTube, the 9/11 truth banners.
oh, absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I was part of that for about a year, and the leader of that is a fucktard and complete disinformation fucktard. But I'll give him credit for making those banners, because those
Yeah.
banners were a great idea.
Yeah.
But they do not let you, if you believe that there was nukes or direct energy weapons involved or no planes, you're gone.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so I started looking at footage, and I'm like,
that's the
so this
stigma,
plane
right? Yeah.
just went into this building and disappeared. And then there's an explosion. Maybe there's more to this. Maybe
But-
they did.
and then there's also two pieces of footage that they played back multiple times on the news. One showed the plane kind of incoming. I think they made it look like a news helicopter cam view or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
zoomed
And you see it
in.
coming in on its approach, and then it hits. And then there's another view that shows it from the one side, the famous one, and it shows if you go frame by frame, there is wing that's clipping on the wing, like you can see it.
If
Where
you
it was,
look it up, there was exactly 0 people who actually saw the planes in real time hit the
yeah,
building.
yeah.
There
I
was 100 people, about 110, who claimed to have seen it.
Let me see something here. I'm gonna pull up.
I mean, that's insane. That right? I mean, that should tell you something. 100?
Was it actually 110?
It was 110 that claimed. Wait, let me get this right. There was 0 people who actually saw it, the planes hit, and heard them hit. There was
Right.
110 who saw the planes hit, and there was, I think it was like 200 or 300, like a very small amount, tiny amount, who both saw and heard the planes hit. Now
Okay,
you're
that's
telling me
Montreal.
in a
You're,
city that big, and that counts for both planes. You know what I mean? After the first one hit, everybody's looking up at the sky, right?
Yeah, but you're
Everybody.
adding to the riddle.
Right.
You're
There
adding
you
to the
go.
riddle. Remember what
That
I
is
told you
the
earlier?
yes.
I saw an analysis
110
that somebody had
story
done.
building.
That is the Fibonacci sequence right
It's
there.
110 story buildings, right?
Right.
And then 110 people. It's
Correct.
like that's gematria.
Yes, it's the Fibonacci sequence with gematria, and that that's just. And again, how many people are in New York City? Just New York City alone. After the first plane hit, everybody would be looking up, wouldn't they?
Not only Osama bin Laden equals 110, but also Saddam
Yes, it
Hussein
does.
equals 110.
Correct. Yes. Yes. I love that you know this.
Here's a quick
I have a database of all those numbers and the correlation.
Yep. You know what? I put it out left and right. Where's the planes? Where's the planes?
Oh my God!
Show me. Want to see a plane here.
Sorry, audience, I didn't have it right now.
There we go.
Look at that.
Where's the plane? A plane would do that. A plane would hit 16 steel reinforced. 6 feet. 6 feet. 6 inches of reinforced steel. 12 feet of reinforced concrete, and a plane's going to do that to the building. Okay.
It's like a beer can hitting a freaking brick wall.
Right. It's like throwing a beer can at your concrete freaking basement and expecting it to. It's ridiculous. It defies, but that don't matter.
It's
It doesn't matter.
diabolical.
And they knew it too. And these people are patient, and they're going to kill off as many people as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
That's the plan. No, where was the planes there? What was that footage? And here you go. No matter what you show, people say, "Oh, he could have just edited the planes out."
Well, here's the thing. It's a lot easier
Technology
to.
is both a blessing and a curse.
It's easier to put the planes in than take it out, especially like
Yeah,
JVC footage.
You could.
The old JVC digital footage, though, it would leave artifacts. It would be very, very difficult to do it like so good that you couldn't detect
I've
it.
seen it happen real time though. I've been on.
No, I
debates
get
with
what you're
people.
saying because AI video and stuff like that. But
They literally put the planes in. And I'm like, that's not a plane. And then they showed us doing that to the building. I'm like, that's how does a plane do that? It would have it would have done this. It would have been like this.
Yeah.
It just would have. Seriously, just like that.
Well, that's how deep fake technology works.
It's aluminum, for fuck's sake. Birds net. There's Benson planes from birds, for fuck's sake, people. You think a plane could do that?
Hold on, Eric. Eric, just hold on for a second. I'm not disputing what you're saying because I know exactly what you're saying. But what about the people that were actually on the ground that actually did see a plane? What do you say about
Nobody
that?
did.
All 110 of them? Who claimed?
No, well, hold on. Hold on. There is
110 claimed to see and hear the plane.
Let me
200
finish.
or so.
Let me finish. I'm not disputing what you're saying, but there is a documentary out there by 2 firefighters that were brothers. One went with one crew, the other one went the other. Now, when they were checking a gas leak in the drain, he raised his video camera up and you actually did see the plane. I'm not disputing you, Eric, but there's people on the ground that actually did see a plane hit the building.
Is he alive?
I already said 110 did. Correct, 110 did. Well, 110 actually saw.
Anybody who saw anything is pretty much dead now.
Well, this is important. Saw and heard the plane hit. There was 200 or some who saw the plane, and less than that, like about 110 who saw and heard it, and there was like 200 who saw it. But I mean, out of a city that has tens of millions of people, that's kind of sketchy, isn't it, man? After the first plane hit, you would think the'd be more, and this is a fact. This is actually in the official report.
There's almost as many people in New York as in New York City as there is in all of Australia. Like,
right.
It's a
and you
large
only have
population.
that many people who saw and heard it. and even less than half that saw. Let me get this right. You had more people who saw it and less people who saw and heard it.
And also think of this too, statistically, like how many people would have actual line of sight of the plane? If people told them that a plane hit and they experienced the event, they might just say, "Oh well, when the plane hit," because that's what they were informed that happened.
I'd like to see that footage though, Jamie. I haven't seen that footage yet.
Like I said, I'm not disputing you, Eric.
No, I just want to see that footage. I do.
You let me finish. I'm not disputing it. I'm going with this theory. There's people that did see a plane. They're not saying what type of plane it was. They saw a plane, right? And then there's other people, crazy people, saying there's no planes at all. That cannot be the truth. If people actually saw a plane but can't identify the plane, well, we've got to start searching what type of plane it was.
Maybe one was a plane and the other wasn't.
Or maybe there were no planes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why didn't they find? What's the very first thing that you find when a plane crashes?
You find witnesses and usually good stories.
The engine and the wings, which were not found.
Jamie, I'm gonna give you an example of something that I experienced because I was glued to the whole situation when 9/11 happened. In real time, I was watching and listening to everything on multiple channels. I was working for an internet company at the time, and our servers went down when the first thing happened. Anyway, we were watching this, and the Pennsylvania crisis when that plane went down there, the witnesses saw jet fighters. They saw an explosion in the sky. They saw debris fall, and this was actually broadcast by the witnesses and the local. It was the local communications
keyword
companies.
Broadcast.
That's right, but it was just the local media that was doing it, and then the next day it was scrubbed. That shit was never seen again. I watched it in real time. I watched what the witnesses were saying, and it disappears. They scrubbed it from everybody. Like it didn't. I was like, where is this? Like I know what I saw. Like I know what as I was watching on 5 different channels. But my
what
point
pushed
is,
me
though,
over the edge was John Lear.
When they make a documentary, whatever number of years later,
Lear Jets. John Lear came out and said there's no way a plane could have done that. And John Lear is one of the pioneers. He was part of the secret space program too. People don't know this about the background, but John Lear came out. Lear Jets. Everybody knows Lear.
Yeah.
Right? He was a crazy old dude though.
And these events are so chaotic. Like these kinds of things, like if something like this were to actually happen and it go sideways like this, it would be so spread out. The damage would be just catastrophic. It would be everywhere. It would be a fucking mess.
John Lear never said there were no objects that hit the building. It landed in its own footprint. There was no planes. Yeah. He was very specific in his words.
Yeah.
He never said that nothing hit the building. He just said those were not planes.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, drones, like they could have sent a drone in there. It might have been small enough to be missed by camera. You know what I mean? Like
different. Yep.
Like a Predator drone is only the size of what? Like
the word
tiny vehicle.
There were fighter jets flying around Manhattan that day of 9/11.
Yep, there was, and they're capable of a Project Bluebeam style stuff too in the sky.
They also had NORAD Strategic Defense also gave them a stand down order, by the way, too, just prior to that whole thing.
The biggest thing for me was watching a plane, and I'm sure Robert, you can bring that clip up again, and I can bring up a ton of clips where the plane disintegrates into the building and then blows up. That's impossible.
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
It would never get inside those walls.
Never. It's
unless it got blown up by something else before it hit the building.
But it wouldn't have disintegrated inside the building before blowing up. That was the deciding factor for me. And I'll always be a no-planer till this point. There were no planes. And if there were planes, they weren't like the planes we know about. There's something else. But this was all CGI.
Well, before you continue playing that video, Rob, do you hear about the report back in 2012 that they actually found some other debris? They found a wheel pump. They found a wheel.
Where's the plane, man?
That motor shot is taken from to the rest of the circle. You should be able to see it.
Yeah, so back. No news broadcast.
Somebody tested this footage on BBC camera later on. Oh my God!
What was that in the Learned Elders of Zion? It would be a conspiracy so vast, so diabolical that people won't even believe it happened. Something like that. It's just a conspiracy. So there's no plane there, though. Where's the plane? We're all sitting here agreeing that. Oh my God. The media is paid actors and probably not human. And you don't think they could orchestrate this?
Yeah.
Again, only 200 people saw and heard the plane, and only 100 saw it. 110 saw it, and 200 and some saw and heard it. Out of how many millions?
It's just bizarre, man. Because like
on record.
And by the way, the people that did witness this, I'm pretty sure the numbers are staggeringly high in the percentile range. That most of them are dead. Like it's like 98% of there's like 2 or 3 people alive still that were there at the event.
And to even go a step further, the fact that they
Wait, but all of this is about the second plane, right?
What's that?
All of this is about the second plane.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever talking about the first plane.
No, both planes.
This is the only footage of the second event.
I'm talking
yeah.
about the footage because the footage is from the new. Is from like a
Oh,
person,
yeah,
is like,
correct.
you know, like looking at another person and then they look up or whatever. That's
Between the first plane and the second plane.
the way that the plane comes in and everything. It's completely doctored.
I don't think there was ever footage of the first plane for a while.
Opinion, although I'm not like a no planer or whatever.
Right.
But I think
No, and I cannot definitively say that there were no planes. I never will. All I'm saying is I want proof that a plane can do what it's impossible.
That's what I'm after.
We've got a question in the chat. We've got a question in the chat room.
It's clearly demolition.
Hold on.
Correct.
We've got a question in the chat room from Scott, who is Vatican 782, where they're explosive in the plane to make it look more real.
What plane though? That's what we're trying to show. There's no definitive proof there was even planes.
And those explosions, you could easily pull off with just buckets of gasoline. That's all you have to do. A charge, buckets of gasoline, and you'll have a have a slow burn, but a fast ignition. And
now here's a fun fact, kids.
Where did the footage come from the news? Like that got sent to them, and then they started showing it to us. I mean, how did that work?
There was a hurricane.
They made the footage, clearly.
Are you guys aware there was a hurricane off the coast of New York that was coming straight for it? A class 4 hurricane was on its way in. And suddenly at the last minute, so you guys are, I assumed you knew about this, turned back out. Now, what fuels direct energy? Something like a hurricane.
Good point.
Just saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
a controlled hurricane
hit the building. Here's
like a hard-created hurricane.
Has it ever been recorded in American or world history where a hurricane was headed straight somewhere and just turned around and went back out to sea?
It was in the late 1960s. The exact opposite happened, actually, because
never happened except for 9/11. Yeah, that don't matter though, right?
No. They were trying to divert a storm using the technology, and instead they attracted the storm. It happened in Florida in like 1966 or 67, I think, and then the global engineering thing, or geoengineering rather, they completely said no more of this, and it was never talked about again in the media.
Exactly,
because they fucked up Florida.
The official report by NIST never mentioned a hurricane heading towards New York. Nope, never even mentioned it. It was almost in the bay. That's how close it was, and then completely turned back out and went back out to sea and dissipated.
Wow.
But what I'm trying to explain is the supposed footage that we see aside from the helicopter, right? Which is that one with the guy putting the thing pointing up and going, and then there's the other one with the other side of the building and getting hit with the thing. That's like out of a window, right? Those are those are the footage that they kept showing us over and over again. And then of course the helicopter one. in the news reel, right? All of that footage could have been taken by news people, like because in a sense they were all like there at the right time.
Yeah. Could have been filmed before the event even happened.
Yeah, a closed circle of
easy,
a closed production circle.
So I mean, we're not. I'm not saying definitively that's
like they did with Handy Sook.
Right, Handy Sook, right. Ladam Anza.
Exactly.
No comment.
Sleight of hand, kids.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, hey, you guys remember just for shits and giggles? You guys remember when it was during the first attack on Kuwait back in Operation Desert Storm? There was an actual beach landing where the friggin' media showed up before the troops did for a beach landing.
Yes.
Do you guys remember this? Like,
oh yeah,
like somebody didn't get a memo is all I'm saying. And or they
remember that footage with the guys. I don't remember what
demonstration, man.
They put their helmets on and they were like, hey, incoming, and it was all fake.
Oh yeah. Right in front of a blue screen or green screen. Yeah.
Just that alone should make people question everything.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Hats off to the person who filmed that on their phone or whatever, and then released it later, because like that's gold right there.
Oh, I have a ton in my
That's smoking
archives
gun.
like
That's smoking gun shit. Yeah, you got what? You got a ton of it?
Oh, I have a ton of footage. I would never just come out and make the claim that in my opinion, planes didn't hit the building until I saw all these different clips.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Especially the ones, again, the most important ones are the ones where the plane goes inside the building and does not explode. So the plane is completely inside the building and then explodes.
Yeah, the timing's just
fucking possible.
Yeah,
that's not possible.
Like if you play it back, your mind is tricked into thinking it's happening right. I mean, but you go frame by frame. It's like, okay, come on now.
I'm sure you've seen the ones where the plane comes off the other side of the fucking building, right?
Yeah.
The plane comes off the other side of the building.
It comes out. Oh, you were just saying it. Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Right.
That's the helicopter footage.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
The nose comes out of the other side.
Right, not possible. That's a physical.
And they try to hide it with their flashy putting on. Oh, this is what we're talking about right here.
Isn't the wing sticking out
the plane
side?
Went in the building and exploded, but I will not give you the plane nose came out the other side. Oh, you know,
is it the nose or is it the wing? Something was sticking out the other side of the building.
Is it was blurry and old? It was old technology and it was blurry and it looked like it was a. This is what they use.
And it was hard. It was hard to go frame by frame back then.
Bob Mechanics.
Rob, I just put your link in the chat.
And they said that it looked like it, but that was not the tip of the plane. It was debris. That's how they debunk it, man. Telling you, fucking crazy. And go ahead and believe that if you want to. Go ahead and take that jab. It's good for you. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. That was the tip of the plane because they didn't have that good of film footage, and they fucked up. They took the image and accidentally had the tip of the plane coming out,
collapses to the ground.
That's
approximately.
That's just my take.
29 minutes later, the North Tower follows suit, also collapsing in approximately 10 seconds. Later that evening, at 5:20, World Trade Center Building 7, 47 stories tall, collapses to the ground in under 7 seconds. The official explanation is that falling debris from the North Tower created a series of fires inside the building. If this is true, it would be the third steel-frame skyscraper in history to completely collapse because of damage and fire.
I mean, it's about the
first
whole
two
building could be
would be
on
the
fire.
Twin Towers.
Fire still wouldn't do that, but God.
February 23rd, 1991. One Meridian Plaza, a 38-story skyscraper in Philadelphia, burned for 18 hours across 8 floors. It is later described by officials as the most significant fire of the century. It did not collapse.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. It was
October 17th, 2004.
Yeah.
A 56-story skyscraper in Caracas, Venezuela, built in 1976, burned for over 17 hours and spread across 26 floors.
Inhabitants might not survive it, but the steel will.
It did not collapse.
On re-entry and shit like that. Like it's incredibly.
February 13th, 1975. A 3-alarm fire broke out between the 9th and 14th floors of the North Tower.
You need to get to a much higher temperature. You need a.
No one died. The building was unoccupied. The fire began in an electrical wiring closet on the 11th floor. There should have been fire stops to prevent it from spreading, but there weren't. The fire spread to 6 other floors. Even without a sprinkling system, fire department officials and building officials here say that there's no chance the World Trade Center could become a type of towering inferno.
The fire is so intense, it leads to the installation of sprinkler systems, which would come in handy on May 19th, 1975. When 7 fires strike the complex.
We're not getting
South
shut
Tower
down by
had
nobody.
garbage fires dispersed between the 25th and 36th floor,
And that goes for
and the
anyone
North Tower
listening
had a
here.
fire on the 11th
We
floor.
will always
6 of the
take,
fires were minor,
Freedom Radio to
but the
next
7th
level,
on the
and,
32nd floor of the South
here
Tower
for your freedom of
caused
speech,
heavy
so,
damage. Guess what?
Don't be
Yeah,
shy.
I
They did
stopped
not
debating people
collapse.
about building
September
building
11,
1, building 2,
2001,
Tower 1,
two
Tower 2.
110-story skyscrapers, completed in 1973,
buildings,
burned for
that's it.
56 minutes
Everything about
over
it is
8
about-
floors,
Well,
and
there were
103
pieces that
minutes
flew
over
off
5
the
floors,
building and made
respectively,
it fall into
before
its
collapsing
No.
completely to the
What are
ground.
you talking about?
It's happened
Some
so long
argue
ago.
that this was due to the
There still is
construction
yet
of
to
the
be
Twin
a
Towers.
credible engineer who would ever.
The Twin
freaking,
Towers were
agree with that.
composed of
Nobody has,
200,000
except
tons
for
of
Nick.
steel
Well,
and
actually, demolition experts have
425,000
actually
cubic
come out
yards of concrete.
and said their bits and said, well, yeah.
The
that-
core
that
of each
was
tower
controlled
was a rectangular
demolition.
pillar,
There's no way.
87 by
It would be more
133
messy if it
feet,
was like a
comprised of
structural
47
collapse,
steel
it would be
box
an
columns
uneven collapse.
ranging
There's
from
no
36
way
by
it could collapse.
16 to 52 by 22 inches.
But that don't matter, man. We're in a
The
bad
North
spot.
Tower was
See, here's the
completed
thing,
in
though, man, is
1970,
that whole event
standing
now,
at
it's almost mythological
1,368
because
feet tall.
almost an entire
And South
generation
Tower
has
was
gone
completed
by,
in
grown up, and now become
1973,
big people.
reaching
You know what I mean?
1,362 feet tall,
It's going to get lost
making
in
them
history.
the tallest
Many of those
buildings in
good
the
big
world
people
at
who
the time.
believe the official story never did the research like we did.
They were
so,
designed to
yep,
withstand
agreed.
multiple impacts from a Boeing
Yeah, I mean,
707,
we're at the stage
the
now
largest
where I think
aircraft
so
at its
there
time.
might be some deathbed
An analysis
admissions,
released in
maybe.
1964
We're getting there. Maybe
claims
it'll
that
happen,
the buildings
who
were
knows?
investigated
But
and
then
found to be
again,
safe
you would
in
be
an
able to
assumed
trust it.
collision
You
with
wouldn't
the
be able to trust
707
it no matter
traveling
what
at
got said
600 miles
outside.
per hour.
We are
Such
the
collision
resistance.
would result in only local damage, which could not cause collapse or
in an assumed.
Hang on, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but we're talking about building one and two again. That doesn't even matter. Building 7. Building 7 wasn't
Well, it's in here. It's
all
in
this
here.
hyperbole. What happened with building 7? I always direct people to that. I'll give you building 1 and 2.
Well, if we
Even though
want
it's impossible, what happened? What happened with building 7? I always go to building 7 with people I'm trying to freaking convince. All right, so the tin can knocked into the plane who could withstand multiple hits by Boeing. All right, cool. What happened with building 7? And they always go back to the NIST report, dude. Always. Well, there was stuff that flew off the building and caught building 7 on fire. And how did that make it fall into its own footprint at free fall speed?
I like the news report where she's announcing that it's fallen, but it's still standing behind her.
Right, that too. There you go.
And then it falls. She looks back and then it falls. It's like, oh yeah. Oops, sorry, we're a little early.
Any debate I have with somebody about building 7 who believes it happened the way the media reported it always ends up in fuck you, Spitfire, fuck off. And then they click off because they can't refute it.
Rob,
It's
continue to
impossible.
play it. Building 7's in here. Building 7.
Such collision would result in
People
only
light a
local
bunch of
damage,
fires,
which could
bunch
not
of
cause
freaking
collapse
papers on
or
fire in your
substantial
house to
damage
see
to
if
the
it
building.
collapses into its
A
own
707
footprint. That's how
has
weird
4
this
engines
is.
instead of 2, and its cruise speed is 607 miles per hour. The Boeing 767s that struck the North and South Tower were traveling at 440 and 540 miles per hour, respectively.
Building 7's in here. I talked a lot about it.
Well, I don't have a time index. I think it's 2 hours and 9 minutes long. I maybe.
Play it from here. Play it from here. Play it
Look
from
at
here.
Robert playing a propaganda piece.
Oh, this is what I was talking about with the fight, right? So you're saying that's not a fight.
Where's the plane? No, where is it? I didn't see a plane. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Show me a
Damage,
plane.
which could not cause collapse or substantial damage to the building.
That's a big part of
A
this.
707 has
Hey,
4
where's the
engines
plane?
instead of 2, and its cruise speed is
Pause it, right?
607
Because it
miles
looks and it
per
zooms and that's
hour.
it.
Where's the plane? You know, they get people that pretend they're a plane.
It's like those
no
special
plane.
effects
There you go.
Where people get shot by an arrow. You don't see the photo shooting the arrow. You only see the like.
Where's
the person already got the arrow in them.
Oh, there's the other side.
Around there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's right after this. Okay.
Did you slow it down?
I put it down to a quarter of the speed so we could at least. I slowed it down for me so I could keep up.
We can at least see there's no plane. There's fucking no plane in this.
This is the clip though. This is the clip that goes over to his shoulder. So cue fireman. Look, what's that?
Oh my goodness!
Oh, I'm a camera guy. I should maybe instead of doing my job.
Hey man, what's gonna happen? Look up, guys.
Cameraman.
Where's the plane? Look at that. Up. We were a little early with that.
There it is.
There it is. So, where's the plane?
It's right there.
Really? Okay, freeze right there. So the plane is completely inside the building. Whatever they're calling is a plane.
All right.
Impossible.
So that blurry thing there, that's the plane just before it hits, right? That
the
blurry
plane. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Can you zoom in on that?
Show me the plane in the building again.
I'm gonna try and catch it. Okay.
I can see it. You can play
There it
it.
is. There it is. That's
That's the fucking plane right there.
Something.
I don't know. It could be a missile.
There it is. It is. Could be a CGI. Here it goes.
An optical illusion.
Look at that. No, nothing. Just what is it? Still inside the building.
It disappears right before the explosion. Did you notice that?
I'm gonna say there was nothing off the counter that you could get product wise to do this in CGI. It wasn't possible. You didn't have the software to do it. Like you didn't have software to do that kind of CGI. Like you could fake it now easily.
Still, I don't have to bring it up even.
But I
Jamie,
mean,
where's the plane again?
I think this was done. I think this was done with optical. I think they took a model. I think they marqueed it. I think they rotoscoped it and put it in with the traditional production style, George Lucas kind of stuff. I don't think they use CG. I think they just because that's why you get a blur. I think
where is any footage of an actual fucking plane?
Well, what you do if you take a model. After you chroma key the model on traditional film, then you blur it and then you impose it, and then it would almost look like it belonged there, as long as you had the right
look
lighting.
To the left of the building, too. See how you have this little explosion? That could be the tip of the plane coming out. That they say. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Still nothing.
I don't personally believe that kind of damage, like the way it's portrayed, could actually happen from that kind of a plane. Couldn't do that.
Broke a few windows, maybe broke one of the columns, and fell to the ground.
The wings would have not gone through the building.
The wings would have snapped off. But here we go. Keep playing it.
Like I don't see any wings falling down the front face of the building.
It's still no fine. So the plane is officially disintegrated, but there's no.
I just said. I told you if you go back and you look right before the explosion, the plane disappears.
Well, look just to the right of this too.
It's like it
Look
fades.
just to the right of the explosion. You see that little shadow there on the right? What is
puff,
that?
Like a little puff, like maybe dust. That's
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a light coming through that dust cloud.
They call that something like spoils or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean,
don't even play the missile hitting the Pentagon.
We won't talk about that today. or the Pennsylvania event.
Oh yeah, that's another geometry.
This is so dumb.
Yeah. Like how do you have 200 fucking cameras?
93 is gematria straight up.
How do you have 200 cameras nearby in the whole area and not one of them picked up a picture?
Why are people saying that 9/11 was a satanic ritual? I mean, it certainly was. Play it just a little bit more. What is it gonna? Are we gonna see any? Still no flame. Look at that. There we go.
Well, you
Now-
got a glowing. You
now
got that
it's
glowing.
glow.
Yeah, I got that glow from inside. But
Now it's so dumb.
see,
My God.
what do you call that substance there? That it actually can burn steel. Can melt through steel. It's just at the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of the goddamn name.
Thermite.
Fair enough. Thermite. That's right.
Yep.
Apparently this is all just secondhand information, but apparently there was a lot of crews in there doing painting, like they were painting the office. So I mean, is it conceivable that they painted
melt
with
through
thermite?
steel more even quicker than
they supposedly moved people in order to do it.
direct energy weapons. So you hit it with everything. I mean, this is so dumb, dude. Watching this plane disintegrate in the building, and now we have fire and flames.
Now, if you disintegrate the structure
before the explosion.
Yeah, I cannot stress it would have hit like this.
I was tripping. I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like,
This is what would happen.
Faded out.
Throw a tin can at
I've done edits like that, where you fade things in and out, and it's like it's clearly Photoshop.
Clearly, 100%.
Except for the Photoshop we had back then was only like version 9. It sucked.
Yeah.
I was actually working as a graphic
so
designer.
If you notice, the plane itself doesn't turn or anything. It just seems to be like one.
Right. Look to the left. Why would this top part be blowing out?
And it's hella blurry. It's like,
see this at the left of it. See how it's starting to blow out. You see a little cloud out to the left. It would be going out to the right too. It'd be going out all sides. But anyway, this is so dumb.
What I see is a secondary explosion as well as a primary.
There you go. Yeah,
that's what my eyes are telling me.
But again, we're still looking at building 1 and 2. You gotta come talk to me about building 7. You know what I'm saying?
Where are the plane engines? Where are they in all of this?
They were never recovered. There were passports though that were paper recovered.
They were
I mean, that's
undamaged, completely undamaged.
Box cutters.
Freaking perfect.
Well, the box cutter things, that takes us back to the Pennsylvania thing. It's like
Pennsylvania, there was no plane. Pennsylvania, there was no plane.
No.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of this.
I'm talking about where they made a movie about the people on the plane that took it back and they flew it. Yeah. Bullshit. They fucking shot it down. I guarantee it. They shot it down.
It has to be 93 because 93 is connected to that magic of Aleister Crowley.
Absolutely.
They also found that Flight 97 was still on the freaking tarmac at a different freaking state.
Well, witnesses, like I said, on day 1, witnesses said they saw an explosion in the sky and parts rained down, and then it got scrubbed. Nobody saw anything. It was just, I think they shot it down. I think those people on that plane were already sacrificed. I think they were already sacrificed, just like they did with the Ukrainian.
Agreed.
Yeah. Like, what was it? The Malaysia flight?
Hold on.
They shot it down and disintegrated. It certainly didn't hit the ground and
Here's another thing. How come paper was recovered but no metal?
That's what I was just saying. Like, where's the engines? Yeah.
A paper trail.
Because they shot it down, bro. That's why.
Yeah, that's a paper trail.
When I say no planes, I'm saying no planes hit the Twin Towers. I'm not saying there weren't any planes in the sky. At Flight 93, I agree with you, man. That was shot down. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think.
Let's roll.
And then they made a movie about these brave passengers that overpowered the terrorists.
Yeah, supposedly 93 was going for the White House.
Yep.
That's right. There's
93 was going for the White House, and then Flight 93 was going for.
The magic narrative really makes no sense. Like, it was obviously made to go down.
Yeah, saving the district of
Building 7 was. Anyway.
Each plane, there's 4 planes, right? And they all had different numbers. And if you add them all up, then it connects to the amount of people that went down.
Correct.
100%. Go down a bit. Building 7.
Bingo.
They talk about it.
Bingo. You just said it.
Yeah, it's a huge ritual associated with it. It's to do with Boaz and King. I forget his name. The 2 pillars becoming one, translucent, because they have to sacrifice the 2 to become one.
Indeed.
It's all a Masonic ritual.
Now the Pentagon was even more heavily reinforced against the plane than these buildings. Look what happened to the Pentagon.
Told me he was on the 65th floor standing next to an elevator when the elevator
people who
exploded and
flew the
knocked him out of his
plane.
shoes. Another woman said that she was working on the 49th floor and she's seeing people in the stairwells with burns and broken arms. People are passing out of the stairwells from the heat. She says there's a lot of heat and smoke. It's a horrible scene here. I'm live at Broadway and Fulton. Allison Keys, WCBS 880 News.
All right, thank you, Allison.
Basically, there's people running around down the street. All the glass panes that are on the bottom part of the World Trade Center are all blown out. When I first heard it and ran over to the window, it looked like there was fire on the bottom floor.
Well, they're ahead there. And all of this, the world...
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The building fell. Are you there? The building just fell.
It sounded like the 4th of July. You heard a big explosion before the building fell?
Sure, 100%. I will never, ever...
You had 100
It looks like something is pushing it down.
and you lit them all off at once.
Direct
That's
energy
what it
weapons.
sounded like. It sounded like the finale of the 4th of July.
You've seen the steel spire?
We just witnessed some kind of secondary
thermite,
follow-up explosion.
10 o'clock Eastern Time this morning, just collapsing on itself. We have no idea what caused this.
Almost looks like
why they
a
went
planned
down.
implosion.
As if a demolition team set off, when you see the old demolitions of these old buildings, it folded down on itself and it is not there anymore.
If you wish to bring anybody who's ever watched a building being demolished on purpose knows that if you're going to do this, you have to get at the under infrastructure of a building and bring it down.
Right now, police have to determine if whether that explosion was caused from the initial impact of the plane or whether it was something that was exploded on the ground. Generally speaking, for a building to collapse in on itself like that, it would seem to indicate that there could have been an explosion, a bomb planted on the ground that would make the building collapse within itself.
Yeah, me too. I'm just looking at that time.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll wind
right on the nose.
Well, actually, you know what? We'll shut her down while the going gets good here. And you know what? I'd like to thank everybody. Give you all a chance to kind of, say your piece and tell people how to find you. All right. We'll start off with Keith. Since you're, the oldest person, the person I've known the longest now in this whole thing. Thanks for sticking around. Everyone else is like kind of gone and done their own thing. But we're still here standing on the heap. So go ahead, man. Tell people what you're doing, how to find you, and we'll move along.
All right, I'm doing the Gematria database thing.
Yeah.
I take basically all the Gematria stuff that I find and the riddles and stuff, and I put it in there in the logical order and set it up in this category format. And it's like a website. And so you can click on places to get to places. If you want to know what, say we were talking about 110, you can go to all of the things that equal 110 and actually go, okay, this equals 110. That's equal.
You have an actual place for people to find you,
connection.
Keith?
For example, what?
That is like a station or something. People can come and find you and what you talk about.
Yeah, it's the Gematria database. I have a
Gematria
YouTube
database
with that name. I got a
just type that in.
Gematria
database.
At Gematria database.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one in Instagram is Gematria _database. If I'm not mistaken. Try both.
Yeah.
And
Gematria _ database, because I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I think the database is constantly growing, right? You're always adding events to it, right?
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying,
I'm always,
okay.
I'm always updating it. The place where it's at is KON5 PIRACY.blogspot.com.
And that's conspiracy, but with a K and a 5 in there.
And a K. Exactly.
.livespot.com.
Correct. Blogspot.com. Correct.
Blogspot. I want to write it down.
Eric.
And that's it.
Yeah. Eric, tell people how to find you and what you're up to.
Over here on the station. I had a YouTube station that had over 1 million hits and but a few subs, and it was taken down. So you can find me just kind of floating around and meeting new and exciting individuals who teach me a lot. I appreciate Keith being on, and Jamie, and especially yourself, Robert. And let's blow the station up.
Yeah, man, that's what we're here to do. Wait a sec. All right, but yes,
back from the road.
While we wait for Jamie to say his bit,
I'll be
here,
back. I'll be back in a sec.
All right.
I'll be back in a sec.
I'll be back.
I especially want to thank all you listeners, like both on if you're listening to us on radio.epgn.ch. Love you. Thank you very much. And if you guys are watching the video portion on the other selected network nodes, such as Jamie's over at Southern Truth, and it's a big mouthful, and Spitfire over there, where he says he is.
Again, my the Sentinel's Truth came from, real quick, Jeff Hayes, author of Rise of the New World Order, The Culling of Man. Best-selling biblical prophecy 3 years in a row in the world. You're right. So get that book. You can, if you're not able to afford it, you can download it for free.
Excellent. And if you guys want to, if you're interested in doing shows, if you like to do stuff, get in touch with us. We'll hook you up. We're looking to expand our network, get more shows on the air. It doesn't matter what you're interested in. I want to create publishing. I want to create publishers. That means, if you have a voice that has to say something, doesn't matter what it is, get it out. We'll help you out. All right. And that's enough about that. Really, for now, we are going to make announcements for our very first official show. It's going to be coming soon. And if you get down to epgn.ch, we will keep you posted over there. And we haven't got our buddy Jamie back yet. But you're going to find him somewhere, I'm sure. Hopefully soon. But here I'm gonna transition back and stop sharing the screen because it's a horrible send off when we're not actually visible. But I digress.
It's cool though. Great conversation, man.
Hey man. It's good to talk again. I had to come out of my shell eventually. I mean, I spent the last year just developing stuff and trying out software and customizing software, and it's been a bit of a, I guess you could say, a lonely task. But it's good to be back out in the wild again. So I do appreciate you guys being here with me. But yeah, I was released back into the wild. But yeah, man. No, I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty pumped with the. Like I said, we're all doing this because we need to kind of go through the motions and learn how to use the software, how to keep it going, and it'll start becoming clockwork. We'll start getting really good at it, and it will be nothing. And also, have templates and all kinds of other shit.
Yeah.
And Jamie's back. Look at this guy.
I'm back.
You sexy beast. All right, tell people how to find you and what where to go.
All right. So let's just plug some things, shall we? So I'm currently suspended on YouTube. I can't broadcast on YouTube, so YouTube, you can suck my ball.
Bunch of cunts.
But anyway, join me every day, 10 p.m. Eastern for American viewers. Adjust your time.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah. Due to technical difficulties, Max Egan will be on next week. And that. So go to Southern Truth 79 on Twitch, and I'll be joining Rob as much as I can, and he's showing his laser from his crossbow. And that. So Eric is also part of the team as well. So we used to be on Web Radio, but we made a decision collectively to leave that because of what was going on behind the scenes. And so we decided to go over to Twitch. I've been on Twitch for about 2 months now. 15 countries around the world is currently tuning in. Thanks, guys. But we want to expand that. I'm not here to be popular. I'm just here to just share the news and share what's going on. And you guys make it possible in the chat rooms. I know we got Scott in there and we had Cass in there. But most importantly, if you want to check it out, please come over. And also, we got Rob, we got Bill Grant, we got Damien once in a blue moon.
Vinny Eastwood, Max Egan, you name it.
Yeah. And also, we are thinking about trying to get Vinny Eastwood back on the show.
What do you mean thinking about? Vinny's a brother, bro.
Yeah.
Well, very soon we are going to be having our very first official EPGN podcast broadcast / music festival. And basically, we're going to get all the heavy hitters here in one place under one roof at one time. And if you can handle that, then you're going to love it. We'll make the announcements as we organize this, but it'll be a good send-off. And like I said, this is all about you guys. This is all about giving you the power to take this whole world back. You know,
we appreciate you entrusting us with this, and I have a little send off for us.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Awesome.
First time more the technique. Welcome. Bass turn down the treble. I'm about to bring this rap game to another level. I'm rapping with God, I ain't rapping for the devil. I'm bringing the game in the name of a rebel. I don't rap about guns, love, drugs, or how I'm trying to get to love. I'm here to speak the truth and not any lies, because I'll always be on the lower side. I know Satan's always trying to tempt me, but I'm in the game until the day they arrest me. I'm speaking the truth about the deception and selling. I'm not a fake and I'm not a felon. I'm just me. I speak a mind freely. I'm tired of being programmed by the TV. The world is a joke, but between you and me, my chain is broken, so now you can't see clearly. Took the red pill, now I'm offering it to you. And once you take it, you'll stop seeing truth. This is what I'm called to do. I wish this world could see right through, but they don't. And I can tell you why. It's because you are following the master of lies. Giving fame and fortune, all that bling. Giving fat stacks of cash even if they can't sing. It ain't worth it in my eyes, cause I can see clearly, rise above. All the half-truths being spread to all you. The deception can be hard to see through. This ain't opinion, this ain't a theory, this is truth. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Do you want the truth? I'll take it. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Do you want the truth? I'll take it. What's going on in the world today? All these rap videos leading our babies astray. Leading our babies away from the truth and light. Rappers influence them to do things that ain't right. I'm on the mic talking about cane and guns. But it's really time to do it, guaranteed you'll run. Non-stop talking about a trifling life. Filled with alcohol and drugs, another man's wife. Got menage random chicks. Now it's at the local health clinic feeling sick. Got something that you couldn't throw back. Play the Mac. The devil got you like that. What does it take to profit a man to lose his soul and gain the whole world, gain silver and gold? One day you must see the Lord's faces. Will he say well done, or will he look at disgraces? Without faith, it's impossible to please. So please drop down on your motherfucking knees and beg, please have mercy on me, my Lord. One accord. You want the truth? Okay, I'm bringing it here. Repent everyone because the kingdom of heaven is here. The enemy roams around. We made a vow, stay connected to your Lord and stay. Your true power. Do you want it? One more time. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it. Do you want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it. Do you want the truth? You want the truth? I'll bring it. Yes, I want the truth. Yes, I want the truth. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we roll, guys. Anyway, that was good. Let's catch you next time on the flip side from the edge of the apocalypse. This has been EPGN Radio Online and in video, and you heard it here and pretty much everywhere we could reach. So, guys, say bye now.
Hey, good night, and leave a shrimp on the barbie for me.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.